Take a look at the Busch Series Championship standings as we get ready for the command. Martin Truex Jr. and Clint Bowyer in a two-man battle for that championship. Right now it's Martin by 49 points over Bowyer. Hi everybody, Bill Weber along with Wally Dallenbach and Benny Parsons. Thanks for having us in for tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race from the Lowe's Motor Speedway. 43 drivers are in this race. If you're in this race, you have 43 opponents, 42 drivers you know, and a racing surface that you do not know about, BP.
No, you really don't. Since this race last year, the Speedway has worked on the racetrack, and they made it much faster, about 1 second faster. That's 4 or 5 miles per hour. And that extra speed has presented a problem for these guys trying to figure it out. In qualifying, A.J. Fernandez goes in turn 1, in the wall, backup car. Curtis Davis, 0, in the wall. He actually missed the race. And also Ashton Lewis Jr., the 25 car. So we see a pattern developing, your guys trying to figure out a racetrack that is very difficult. And that's probably not all the crashes we'll see tonight.
Probably not. Busch Series stars throughout this field, obviously, but a lot of guys from the other garage, a lot of talent on this track tonight.
Yeah, you got the Busch guys here trying to win a race and a championship, but you have 19 Cup drivers in this race, and 7 of them are chasers. So the reason, well, like we talked about last week, they're here to have a little fun and make a little money, but also they're on a new racetrack. They're trying to figure out what this racetrack is now that they've done the work on it for tomorrow's Cup race.
Well, the interesting thing about coming to the Lowe's Motor Speedway, all the practice sessions and qualifying for the Busch Series held during the day. So, Benny, that's another curveball for these guys.
It really is, but they had a practice session here 2 weeks ago. Some of these teams were here, and they have to go back on those notes, not use what they learned during the daytime, because those notes don't work.
And there is a lot of speculation that the track surface will change even more than it normally does. Now, remember, during the Cup race here in May, the 600-mile race, there were 22 caution periods. We'll see what happens tonight. A lot of veterans and a lot of inexperience in this 43-car starting field. Let's go back to the track side and rejoin the pre-race ceremonies.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bryce Hogan, the 2005 Dollar General Sweepstakes winner, as he gives us the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The 43 cars for the NASCAR Busch Series roar to life at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. When we come back, the starting grid and the green flag from Charlotte. Rolling onto this mile-and-a-half track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina, 300 miles ahead for the stars of the NASCAR Busch Series. And as Wally pointed out, 19 guys that have made the walkover from the NASCAR Nextel Cup garage. Take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race. Look at that front row. Jimmy Johnson with a new track record, and Ryan Newman, a couple of guys also in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Right behind them, Kyle Busch and Reed Sorensen, who thought he had a shot at the pole, came up 4th. Regan Smith, another strong qualifying run, and Kenny Wallace in row 3.
Row 4, we've got Denny Hamlin. There's a chaser, Jeremy Mayfield on the outside row 4. Clint Bowyer chasing Truex for the championship. J.J. Yeley, Greg Biffle, and Paul Menard fill out row 6.
Back in row 7 on the inside, Kevin Harvick. On the outside, the leader in the NASCAR Busch Series points, Martin Truex Jr. Jamie McMurray on the inside of row 8. Matt Kenseth, another chaser on the outside. Brent Sherman, great qualifying run for Brent. And Carl Edwards, another guy chasing the NASCAR Nextel Cup.
Back in row 10, John Wood alongside of Robbie Gordon. Johnny Sauter and Tony Rain share row 11. And in row 12, Aaron Fike and Elliott Sadler.
Pretty strong row in 13, Tony Stewart and Bill Elliott. Row 14, David Green and Kevin LePage. And row 15, Stacy Compton and Justin Labonte.
On the inside of row 16 is Sterling Marlin. Jeff Fuller on the outside. Jason Leffler inside of row 17. Unusually poor qualifying run for Jason. Usually it's better than that. Jason Keller on the outside of row 17. Kevin Hamlin, row 18. And Casey Kane, NASCAR Nextel Cup regular.
In row 19, Stedman Marlin gets to share the track with his dad Sterling tonight. He's next to David Stremme, Todd Bodine, and T.J. Bell. Adrian Fernandez in a backup car. We saw his wreck in qualifying along with Ashton Lewis Jr. And look who starts last. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got in on the past series champions provisional. A lot of people here. A lot of guys went home. Benson Crosby, Davis, Green, Grissom, Jourdain, and Michael Waltrip failed to make the race. And a bunch of guys fall into the back of the field. Guys in backup cars. The 43 goes to the rear for an engine change. And the 34 and the 7 making adjustments after qualifying. This is an impound race for the NASCAR Busch Series.
And you saw why the 5 and 25 had to go to the back crashes in qualifying.
So this will be the first lap at speed for those backup cars. Final stories from pit road. Here's Marty Snyder.
Well, Bill, as Wally mentioned, there are 7 chasers in tonight's field, one of them being Greg Biffle, getting in a little practice for tomorrow night's race. Now, last we checked in with Biffle in the Busch Series, he finished second last week at Kansas, and he was coming at the checkered flag. Now, he's racing not the same car tonight, but this car has an excellent history. They've raced it 6 times this year, and 4 times it's finished second. It's never won. Biffle told me just a moment ago, surely tonight is the night that we put this particular car in victory lane. Matt?
Now, Matt Kenseth has gone to victory lane here, both in Busch and Nextel Cup. Now, he is a chaser. He told me that since the Cup side is not an impound weekend, you will learn more tonight that you can carry over to tomorrow night's race. So tonight is going to be a big learning tool. But then he said, after all, it is also about fun, and he hopes to have a lot of fun here tonight and score a 3rd NASCAR Busch Series win here at Lowe's. To Dave Burns.
Matt, Carl Edwards is also in the chase for the Nextel Cup, and there's no question that his laps in this Busch Series car this season have helped him. And he's won 4 times on this circuit, lest we forget the Atlanta weekend when he won his very first Busch race. The very next day, he won his very first Nextel Cup race. Gives him a lot of confidence, a lot of information to run in this series, Alan.
Unlike all of those guys, Jeremy Mayfield, another one of the Nextel Cup Championship chasers, says tonight's race is not about R&D for tomorrow night's Nextel Cup race. It's all about one thing, winning. Jeremy starts 8th. He says he's got a great race car. He'll be having fun trying to get to the front. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys have a great night down there on pit road. And it is a beautiful night for racing here in Concord, North Carolina. Fans have come out, field coming around to get the green flag. Again, they have worked on this track since the NASCAR Busch Series and the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series were both here in May.
The term that they're using for the work on the racetrack is levigating.
Right.
Or, in other words, leveling the racetrack. A huge grinder smoothing out the bumps. Well, they did smooth out the bumps, but they found the byproduct was incredible speed.
It helps them migrate?
They have to migrate to the front, yes.
Speed. Well, the thing is, they make this thing more grip in the racetrack, which is faster, but sometimes it's tougher to race when it's faster. When a place like this, you're going so fast, it's hard to run side by side because you're going so fast. So it will be interesting.
Tire temperature is going to be a concern, BP?
I'm concerned about the front tires because they're driving the cars down in the turns so doggone hard.
Well, we'll see what happens. This will be a fun race, and we'll certainly set the stage for 500 miles tomorrow night. The NASCAR Busch Series at the Lowe Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina. Glad you're along for the ride on TNT.
Showing there's some grip up on the high side right now.
I'm telling you, Ryan Newman, how impressive is that? Everyone has been terrified of that high groove. No one has ventured up there. And on the first lap of the Busch race, he takes the lead.
A lot of concern about the early laps here because of the degrees of inexperience in this field and the track surface. More from pit road from Allen.
Well, Bill, one thing that won't be distracting Ryan Newman is traffic from his team. He cannot hear them on the radio. They can hear him. He can't hear them in these early laps.
Well, that means you can't hear a spotter, I guess, either. Which is okay if you're out front, but what's going on with the 48, Matt?
Bringing a brand new race car to what he considers his home turf, the Lowe Motor Speedway. Now, right before the green flag, he came on the radio and he told his team, we are here to have fun. We're not racing for points. Let's just go out and enjoy the evening and get this car back to victory lane.
As we've talked about, 19 drivers that are in tomorrow night's race. In this race tonight, 7 of them are chase contenders for the Nextel Cup Championship.
and you see all that spark, you say, well, something's wrong with the car. Not necessarily. The cars go in the corners and the springs collapse so much that the suspension goes down and rubs the racetrack. Sometimes it's the frame, sometimes the exhaust. That's just parts of the car dragging the racetrack.
Adds to the nighttime excitement.
Comes Kyle Busch in that 57 car.
Yeah, hopefully it's not the oil pan.
Yes.
I've heard of those things happening.
Yeah.
Yes. Ryan Newman, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch running 1, 2, 3. Then Reed Sorensen, Regan Smith. 4 straight wins in the Busch Series for Ryan Newman. Going for his 5th straight win tonight. Does not run them all, but when he does, he is hard to beat. Used to be very bumpy down there in turns 3 and 4.
So Kyle Busch is going to try the high side. He's kind of searching right now behind Jimmy Johnson to see where Jimmy's weakness is right now.
But there's grip now, what the drivers say, as we've been talking about, all over this track. So you really can try and find your own line and feel pretty confident that the car is going to stick.
Well, it used to be you go down to turn 3 and you would hit those bumps and you would just hang on because the car would just rock and just slide up over those bumps. But right now the cars look pretty steady through there. You know, where they what do they call it, BP? Levigated the racetrack.
Yes.
A lot of fans here tonight and a lot of curious onlookers from the Nextel Cup garage. Alan, more on Ryan Newman.
Yeah, you start bouncing around these racetracks and sometimes things fix themselves, right, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Ryan Newman's radio has fixed itself. He just talked to the crew. They just talked to him. They think it's in the plug from his helmet into the wiring harness above his right shoulder, and they're hoping it stays connected for the rest of this race.
Because what bumps it into place can bump it out of place. Ryan or Jamie McMurray back there.
Yeah, him and Stewart were going at it. There's a bunch of those guys that were going at it, and McMurray just slid up and slammed the wall pretty good in turn 4.
It's Matt Kenseth in the 9, Carl Edwards in the 60.
And those sparks that you saw flying, those are bad sparks.
Yeah. If they come from the side of your car, that's not good.
That's not good. Battle for second spot. Kyle Busch, 57 on the inside of 48. There he goes. To see you, Jimmy.
And now we'll see if the 48 was holding up Kyle.
I believe you'll see Kyle Busch take off and go after Newman right now. He's got a pretty fast car.
Up front, Ryan Newman leads Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Reed Sorensen at Charlotte. Roll 300. Ryan Newman continues to lead. And look at our Wendy's race menu. We are right back here tomorrow night over on NBC for NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from the Lowe's Motor Speedway as the chase for the championship hits the halfway mark. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time on NBC. Ryan Newman leading this race and certainly a strong contender tomorrow night. Kyle Busch has not been able to make up any ground, trails by 0.6 of a second. More on car 57 from Mr. Bestwood.
Yeah, Bill, actually the fact that Kyle Busch is running second is pretty amazing. In yesterday's final practice session, he hit the wall in this car. Caved in the entire right side. Whoa, that was close. They had to replace all the suspension onto the right side, rework the body. His crew chief, Alan Gustafson, told me he's pretty amazed at the job his team did without having to pull out the backup car.
Good point.
Tell you what, Stewart in that 19 car is very fast right now. He is up to 12th spot. I believe he started 25th or something like that, and he is cutting his way through traffic.
And this pack back here has been pretty racy.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good cars right here. Got Kenseth there and Kenny Wallace.
And Kenny Wallace qualified very, very well. Had a 6th, qualified in the outside the 3rd row.
Matt Yoakum.
Championship point leader Martin Truex, he's faded back a couple spots to 15th. Now he just told Bono Mannion, his crew chief, the car is not turning. Tight in the center, but especially tight up off. He's going to try to change up his line to see if he can help ease that tight condition. AB?
Just talking about Kevin Harvick and Kenny Wallace, the two cars in front. Kevin Harvick, his crew chief Ricky Byers told me he really thought they had a stout car and could get up there and run with the Jimmy Johnsons and Ryan Newmans in this race. They got to get out of the traffic first. As for Kenny Wallace, that team owner, Greg Pollux, Monday after the Kansas City race, had a little word with his team. He said, guys, we are not getting it done. He kind of lowered the boom on them. He put the challenge to them. He said they've responded really well this week. We've had a good weekend of intensity around the garage so far.
And teams can go one of two ways when that happens. They can either really come to the track fired up, or they can come to the track feeling pretty bad about things. So it's good that they performed so far.
And Kenny Wallace is lucky that they chose to come to the racetrack fired up.
Yes, sir. Because you know Kenny always comes to the track fired up. Jeremy Mayfield leading this line of cars.
It's Jeremy in the red 79 car. Here comes Denny Hamlin in 20.
And behind him in the 19, Tony Stewart.
Tell you what, Stewart is picking these cars off, Dave.
And you know, the spotters have a language all their own, how to talk to their drivers.
Whoa. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Okay.
They're just wrecking in front of you.
I always pause for woes, and the drivers have to listen for slow car on the bottom ahead of you. And earlier they said that to Tony Stewart when he's passing all those cars. I think they meant the entire field.
One thing about this track, if the leaders get gone at the green flag, you have a lot of work to try and catch them, and that's exactly what Newman, Johnson, and Sorensen have done here. These guys back in the field, in traffic, losing precious time, just trying to negotiate their way to the front.
I looked on the scoring monitor a couple of laps ago. Tony Stewart was running a faster speed than he qualified. And here we are, almost 25 laps into the race.
Now, his car is hooked up right now. And you know, these guys are not really worried about like where Stewart is, because they figure there's going to be a caution. So, you know, that 8 or 9 seconds will be a race before this race is over.
Ryan Newman has led all 23 laps so far. He's out front. When we come back, we will take you through the field. Just come out here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Jimmy Johnson hit the wall between turns 1 and 2. Take a look at what happened.
Greg Biffle's 66 car just passed Jimmy going in the corner. He goes in the corner and the right front tire loses the air, and when that happens, the car goes straight.
On board, out the back.
You can hear it. You can hear it and feel it. There's nothing you can do when a tire goes down like that, but hang on, because you're going to hit something.
29 laps are complete. Ryan Newman has led them all.
Bill, he came on the radio 3 laps ago and said the car has all of a sudden gotten tight, almost like flipping a light switch.
And that's an indication that the tire was losing air pressure. Right front tire.
Well, you know, Jimmy will be disappointed. Has won the last 3 Nextel Cup races at this track and 4 of the last 5. So he takes that car back to the garage. Meanwhile, just about everybody else heading for pit road. We'll start with Dave Burns.
And Reed Sorensen's car was a little bit warm in the heated department. They're not going to make any changes to the car, but they're going to take 2 tires only. Track position, Alan.
Ryan Newman's radio is out. They're going to pass a note into the window from him, from crew chief Roy McCauley, with further instructions for pitting later in the race. Ryan called in during the caution, said, I don't know if I'm supposed to pit or not, but here I come. Marty.
Second place man in the championship, bottom of your screen, Clint Boyer in that 2 car says it's a little bit tight when he hits the gas, half pound in the right rear tire. Matty.
Greg Biffle, 2-time Charlotte winner. They've already made a chassis adjustment. The car was just a tick tight, slow on the left side. He's finally away, loses a number of positions.
And the same for Ryan Newman. Very long stop for the 39.
And Clint Boyer lost 4 positions because he had to back up in his pit stall.
A lot of cars on pit road, a lot of traffic, a lot of trouble. We'll see more of that tonight and again tomorrow night in the Nextel Cup Series race at Charlotte. Picture, because the only way to experience the full impact of HD is with TNT Sports and Sony HD Audio. TJ Bell, the lucky dog. We go to Marty Snyder.
And Bill, Jimmy Johnson took a hard hit. First of all, you okay? And what happened to start that?
Yeah, I'm good. I have to thank the track for the safer barriers and all the other stuff inside the car that the guys worked so hard on. Good shot to the wall, but I blew a tire. I let Biffle go by, and as I turned off into one, I could hear the tire hitting the inside of the fender well, and at that point I knew I was along for the ride, and unfortunately got in the outside wall and hurt a good race car.
He's okay, but the 48 team will be done for the evening.
Thanks, Marty. Jimmy Johnson back here tomorrow night for 500 miles. Now, take a look at some of the activity on pit road.
Yeah, here's the trouble with Clint Boyer on his stop. They get done, but he can't get out because Jason Lember's sitting there, so he had to back up. But he lost at least 4 spots just for that little, have to put it in reverse and back up.
Watch all those cars. Oh, and Carl Edwards almost spins out on pit road. And Ryan Newman, we talked about his radio not working. They hand him a note. They write him a note. And I guess the note says, please check the connection for the in your helmet.
He was taken off. They were going to change 4, and he put it in gear and started to roll. What happened there, AB?
Well, a couple different things, Wally. First of all, there was confusion as to whether they were going to change 2 or 4 tires. In their strategy meeting before the race, I guess they'd had some discussions. Ryan just called in on the radio and said, if we've run more than 30 laps, I'll plan on us getting 4. If we've run less than 30 laps, I'll plan on us doing as we discussed. Then he called back in a minute later and said, by the way, I can't find your love note. It's floating around in the car here somewhere. So crew chief Roy McCauley's told the team to go get a chalkboard that they have in their truck. BP, you remember those days?
Oh, yes, a pit board where you can write your notes.
That's right. Ryan's pit instructions will be on a chalkboard when he comes into his pit stall next time.
I wonder what happens if we run exactly 30 laps.
You can hear me.
Here's our Aaron's.
Blistered right rear there, okay? If you can hear me, we had a blistered right rear.
Oh, my goodness, that's bad news.
Aaron's pit summary. Newman out 9th, Kyle out 3rd, Sorensen to 1st. Also, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who started 43rd, is now scored 5th.
And that was Ryan Newman's radio, letting him know that the right rear tire had some slight chunks out of it. The speed is just...
Hopefully letting him know.
Yeah.
If he can hear the team. But the loads, what you're talking about earlier, the loads are so great on the right side tires. It's either going to be the right front or the right rear. Most of the time it's the right front, unless your car's a little bit. Well, actually, if his car's working really good, it could be the right rear. So teams will be watching that.
Battle for second position. That's Kyle Busch in 57, Jeremy Mayfield in 79, and
wow!
Oh, up the hill they go, and
they're both going to get passed by Paul Menard.
3 wide, Menard in the 11.
They both slid up the racetrack, and Menard saw the opening and took it. Whoa!
Reed Sorensen goes to turn 1 and just about crashed.
Menard
now he's a moving chicane.
Menard to the lead. Sorensen off the pace.
And a red car back in about 6th position. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who started 43rd.
Junior in the 81.
Matt, tell me it ain't so on these tires.
BP, we saw the 48 already had tire issues. Now this is the right rear off championship point leader Martin Truex Jr. You can see the major issues, and if you go up and down my area, Menard in the 11, he had a right rear. The 66 Biffle, he had a right rear showing blisters and chunking, as well as the 79 of Mayfield. So that is an issue that we're seeing on the right rears on this end of pit road, and from what I'm hearing on the scanner, a lot of other teams are experiencing as well up and down pit road. This will be a problem we'll have to watch even more. But then again, with more rubber gets on the racetrack, BP, will we see this condition continue, do you think?
At the speeds they're running, I think we will, Matt. And we see that Kyle Busch has taken the lead in the 57 car. But here comes Newman charging back to the front.
So Ryan Newman, who had a lengthy pit stop, has worked his way up to 2nd. Sorensen is regrouped, runs 8th after leading on the restart. Harvick, Smith, Kenseth, Denny Hamlin. We watch this pack and get an update on Newman from Allen.
Hey, just one follow-up to what Benny, I think it was Benny was saying before, Bill. Ryan Newman did not information from his crew about his right rear tire that came off the car.
All right, Alan, thanks a lot. It's important to know.
Battle for the lead. Newman back in front.
Has already led 30 of the 39 laps. This will be 31.
And it looked like the tire problem from what Matt Yocum was talking about, that almost everyone had a problem. So it's not that your car can be balanced properly and avoid the problem. It looks like that they're all having right rear tire problems.
Yeah, it's just who has the worst problem the earliest, because that's the guy that's going to bring out the caution.
So Ryan Newman has worked his way back to the front, has an outstanding car, but has radio issues and might have tire troubles. We'll see what happens when we come back. Here in the Dollar General 300 at the Lowe Motor Speedway, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A single car spin by Regan Smith, but there was some help.
It started, Denny Hamlin got down on the apron, and he was doing everything he could save his car. And I'll tell you what, this guy, BP, saved his car. He stood on the gas and spun it around a couple times, but Regan Smith never hit anything.
And nothing hit him, yes. So that was a terrific job by Regan. Watch this. There's the bump from Denny Hamlin. He nails the gas, drives down. Now he does one inside wall. Spins it, as Wally said, around a couple of times down the backstretch, and puts her in gear and drives her away.
He was pretty busy there for a second, wasn't he?
He was. He stood on the gas. That was the best thing he could have done, though. And then he jumped on the brakes. Like BP said, he didn't want to run into that inside wall. But you can't get down on the apron on this racetrack. Once you do that, it just unloads the car and shoots you up the racetrack.
Oh, and Robbie Gordon in the 55 white red car just barely gets by.
Most of the leaders stayed out. Then you get back to about 15th or so, and guys came down pit road. Jeff Fuller gets the ballpark Lucky Dog Award. He was the first car scored off the lead lap. So Jeff Fuller, the ballpark Lucky Dog Award. He comes around, gets back on the lead lap. Under caution here at the Lowe Motor Speedway, Ryan Newman leads.
There's the big stadium.
Yep, Lowe Motor Speedway. Contact sports at both places we've seen. Don't miss the CNN Primetime Special, NASCAR Driven to Extremes with Dr. Sanjay Gupta this Sunday night at 10 Eastern on CNN. You and the good Dr. Wally, very close.
Yes, we were. And we were very close to the wall, both of us.
In your Wally's World,
yes.
Brad, yes.
That was at Michigan, I think we did that.
We did it a couple times.
At Brickyard? Yeah, we did. We did it a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see that the lights are out on the pace vehicle, which means next time by, green flag, back to racing again.
First 25 did not pit. 300 miles tonight for the Busch Series. Tomorrow night, 500 miles for the Nextel Cup Series.
You're unbelievable. And you're so unbelievable.
Jimmy Johnson has won 3 in a row here in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Tomorrow night, he goes for his 4th straight. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing presented by the Principal Financial Group over on NBC at 7 Eastern Time. Ryan Newman back up front, brings them to the green flag for the restart.
Green, green, green.
48 laps complete.
Kyle Busch takes a look. Down there, BP.
He got him a good restart. He's got position. And there he goes. Here comes the 11 car, Paul Menard.
Boy, you got a Biffle right there on Newman's back bumper. And there's Tony Stewart. These guys may all be in trouble with Stewart up there. Whoa! What is that? That was 2 in the wall. I think it looked like he was possibly made contact with Kevin Harvick.
Second in the championship standings. Clint Boyer.
I saw the 21 wiggle. That was where my whoa came from.
Okay.
Talk to me, buddy.
see your season end this way.
Yeah, it looks like he just drifted up into Harvick's left rear. Now the car pushed up the racetrack and took himself out.
And in trying to avoid taking the 21 car out, took himself out.
Another angle.
I'll tell you what.
That's the worst hit a driver can take.
Because
you're flat, your driver's side, and you hit that wall flat.
Straight ahead, you stay low.
it's on board with Kenny Wallace.
Caution's out.
Because when you hit the wall like that, it's just you and the wall's only a foot away.
Right.
You see him moving around in there. He's taking his helmet off, so that's a good sign.
Came in second in the championship standings, 49 points behind Martin Truex Jr.
See that headrest right there? I'll tell you what, that headrest, it's paramedic is in front of it right there. That is real important when you take those shots, driver's side. These cars used to not have those.
No, they didn't. Back when I drove, they didn't have. And you don't know if he's hurt or he's just so disappointed.
He's got his feelings hurt, as well as probably being a little sore.
Yeah, that's probably the deal. He's probably just so doggone disappointed. Matt?
Truex has his own issues now. He is fighting a tight car. When he drove by the front stretch and saw that it was the 2 of Bowyer, he said, "Is that the 2?" And Kevin Magnon said, "We're racing our own race. Don't worry about him. We're racing our own season. We've got our own issues." They are going to pit and try to work on this race car again. He did say, "Look, I will drive my guts out. We're not giving up." But we definitely have some issues here tonight.
Well, when you're in that position, though, I know you're racing your own race, but you're always looking for the guy that you're racing, and you don't want the guy hurt. But you know what? You're happy to see a guy have problems when you're racing against him in the championship.
Right. Pit road is open. The leaders stay out. Clint Bowyer, number 2 in the championship standings. A hard hit here at Charlotte. Period of the night after a crash by Clint Bowyer. Programming note for you over on Speed Channel. The chase is on. Thursday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Catch that over on Speed and see where your favorite contender in the chase for the championship is. Under caution here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Field coming to get the green flag. Completing lap 55 with Kyle Busch, the race leader.
Martin Jr. gets underneath Paul Menard there. Is he on the same tires, Dave?
The very same tires that he started the race with. In fact, they talked about the next pit stop. Hey, let's go in to make sure we change 4, yada, yada. And then Junior said, hey, how'd the guys do that just changed 2 last time? And they checked around a little bit. Hey, they're doing okay. Haven't lost a lot of spots. Hey, maybe we'll just change 2 the next time and keep this track position. Yikes.
Wow. Ryan Newman, 39 car on the outside of Kyle Busch, trying to take the lead, and does.
Biffle thinking about following him in that high groove. Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. stopped twice under the most recent caution. Brought out by Clint Bowyer. Bowyer has only 1 DNF this season after getting caught in the Talladega big one.
Matt, how about the 8 car? Have they got anything solved on the Truex automobile?
BP back on lap 51. They made a track bar and wedge adjustment as well as air pressure. Then he came back in after further conversation with Bono. They put on a set of 6-lap scuffs from yesterday's practice on lap 54. Now that's a lot like maybe if you were in school chewing gum and you stuck it underneath the desk, you came back a day later, it hardened up. That's a lot the similar system what you get with scuffed tires. He felt like it was rolling over on the right front, restarting deep in the field. Now he's got a ton of track position to make up and a lot of slower cars in front. He's going to have to try to work his way through.
I never really liked the gum after I picked it up from the bottom of the desk the second day as much as the first day.
It just doesn't have the same flavor.
Just doesn't have the same flavor.
This is a big night for Truex, though, with Bowyer out of the race. His goal certainly is not to win, but get as many points as possible and open that gap between first and second. Marty.
An awfully hard hit for Clint Bowyer. You okay?
It has pretty good lick. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My teammate got up on the outside and we got a little anxious, got me loose, and you know, by the time I couldn't stay off of him and spun ourselves out. It was an unfortunate deal. You know, it's pretty bad when you get into it with your own teammate, but that's the way it goes.
A lot of damage to that race car. Are you going to try to get back out?
You know, I mean, they're going to try, but I don't know how they're going to. That thing's hit hard, so we'll just have to see if we can get some points. And I don't know what it is about this place. We had bad luck both times we came. We had good luck all year long. I guess it's bound to happen sometime.
Gil Martin and the team are back in the garage area in the Busch Series garage working right now, trying to get that car ready, but it's going to take an awfully long time to get it back out on the track.
And Marty, prior to tonight, Clint had finished worse than 20th in just 3 races, and that's why he is still a championship contender, but those hopes taking a hit tonight.
Didn't appear like he was real anxious to get back in that car.
No.
That's what I was thinking. I'm just trying to think, you know, as hard as he hit the wall, I'm not too sure that he's too anxious to get back out there. Imagine he wants to go home and
put some ice on his head.
Yeah.
Like Weber's got on his right now.
From listening to you. Harvick, J.J. Yaley.
Yaley in the 18 car.
It's Matt Kenseth right in front of him in the 9.
Reed Sorensen, 5 to 79.
Yeah, Sorensen picks up a spot there, VP. Want to talk about Matt Kenseth for a second. Robbie Reiser, his Nextel Cup crew chief, has taken a very keen interest in this race. The first set of tires that came off Matt's car, one of them was blistered. Matt and Robbie had a long conversation about what the cause might be, what they might be able to do about it during this race. The real answer is not a whole lot. We're going to have to just keep an eye on it and see.
I would think that all of the Cup crew chiefs are probably taking a lot more interest in this race because of the tire issue right now. I'm sure that everybody is trying to figure out what's going on and what they can prevent.
And I see that I saw the 66 car and the 57 car. You see they moved up the racetrack about a lane. And one reason for doing that is if the tires are suspect, that outside retaining wall is much closer to the middle of the racetrack than it is the bottom of the racetrack. If you do happen to have a tire problem, you don't hit the wall nearly as hard from the middle as you do from the very bottom.
But I want to see Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s tires.
Yeah,
when they
he's got any left.
Yeah. We've run 64 laps, and Junior has not changed tires. That's Robbie Gordon in the 55, Hunter Mayfield in the 79.
Whoa, Robbie drove in there, and the car started to take a slide. He had to jump out of the throttle and gathered it back up.
Kevin Harvick on his bumper.
Robbie's going to take that spot away. And Harvick's going to work on him. Jeremy's going to lose a few spots here. What's going on with Mayfield, Matt? Because he's slipping back.
He was tight earlier in the race, Wally, and this is an example of 2 tires, and they went to 2-tire gamble on their last stop. And he is slowly fading farther and farther to the back.
So 2 tires not the answer for Mayfield. It's Kenny Wallace getting the position. John Wood and Casey Kane.
And that black and white car is Casey Kane. He's back in the 38 car for this race.
Wood in the 47. Not missing anything up front. Newman leads by 0.3 of a second over Kyle Busch.
Tony Raines in the 33 car takes a spot away from Casey Kane.
On board with Casey. Great Clips ride. And this sure tightened up in a hurry.
I'm telling you.
Looks like that outside groove may be a little bit faster than the groove that Ryan Newman's running, which is bent down low.
Newman is the leader. Kyle Busch in second. Greg Biffle in third. And this went from 0.3 of a second to a car length in a heartbeat.
Looks like the high line, and they're getting off the corner better anyway, and Biffle lost a little bit there.
Looks like Ryan's using the whole track.
Hey, Matt, what just happened to the 66 car?
VP, he hasn't said anything on the radio. Now, he did try the higher line earlier and stuck with it because he felt like the car was better, but but he's slowly losing track position there, but he hasn't said anything to his team.
He's just losing a spot to Tony Stewart right now. He takes a spot away, so maybe Biffle thinks he's got something wrong with his car, but
Dave.
Hey, did you guys realize tonight was open mic night?
I didn't realize that.
Open mic night here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway as we see Busch and Newman still battling there. Yeah, Tony Stewart left his mic keyed open for an entire lap, said to his crew chief Greg Zimbelli, and we got trouble. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Right front down, Johnny Sauter's car. Whoa, did he hit hard. Look at that right front.
And you were saying you were just waiting for one guy to do it. You're just hoping it's not you.
Exactly. It's going to happen. You're just hoping it's not you to bring out the yellow.
Sauter 14th in the championship standings.
There we see Johnny in the one car.
This may be a little bit different deal.
Yeah.
This may be contact.
It's Carl Edwards. Yes, sir.
Just a little bump from behind.
When we go to the replay coming off the corner on the backstretch.
Yes.
Carl Edwards went to make the pass on Sauter and didn't have him cleared, obviously. Caught the rear bumper of Johnny's car to turn him right into the wall. And there is a angry man inside that yellow car right there. Because when you get wrecked on the straightaway, nothing makes you more angry than that.
Fourth caution of the day. Marty.
And the first words that the team heard about it on Carl Edwards' radio was, man, I did not mean to do that. Just tell them I am sorry. Whatever you can do, get to the one car, tell them I didn't mean to do it, and I'm really, really sorry.
No, he just misjudged. I mean, you can tell that it wasn't intentional, but they hadn't been beating on each other for 2 or 3 laps before that. It's just sometimes sorry just doesn't.
That's not gonna. Johnny's not gonna care.
Johnny.
He's not gonna care that Carl's sorry.
It's like, it's just sometimes when you apologize, it doesn't mean anything. This is one of those deals. Johnny's gonna go, oh well.
All right, everybody coming to pit lane. Dave.
Tony Stewart wants 4 tires. His car is having a little trouble turning. They will put a wrench in the rear of that car, make a track bar adjustment, fill it full of fuel. Alan.
Ryan Newman, the race leader, leading at the last scoring loop the car crossed, even though Kyle Busch was trying to pass him. Watching to see whether they're going to do 2 or 4 tires here. There was some debate about it. 2 tires for Newman, and he's gone. Matt?
AB, they're going to make a chassis adjustment just completed on the Biff's car. He said, I was burning up my tires trying to keep the leader's BP. That's why he started to slide back. To Snyder.
And Matt, out on the racetrack, still Carl Edwards. No pit stop this time. They've been saving tires that entire run. They're fairly convinced their tires are good enough to hang with these guys who have brand new ones.
Well, Battery didn't want to take a chance on running into Johnny Sauter. Waiting for him. Carl Edwards stays out. He leads under caution at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Still under caution here at Charlotte. Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. did not pit. He is the race leader, followed by Kevin LePage and TJ Bell. Carl Edwards, who stayed out, led a lap, then did come down pit road. They were concerned about possible front end damage after contact with the one car of Johnny Sauter.
You through?
So right now, you got something you want to add? It'd be nice if you would contribute.
All right, well, let's see.
Just stand there a second.
All right.
Marty.
Well, guys, Carl Edwards did stay out to lead a lap, and they were going to try and stay out there, but then they realized, the damage is too much on that right front, so they put a piece of Bear Bond, a big piece of tape on the right front. And also, they've been having some radio problems. They tried to switch to the backup radio. It was no better. They're having trouble hearing Carl, so they decided to switch some radios out in the 60 car.
Thanks, Marty. So Martin Truex Jr. brings the field to the green, completing lap 75.
Ready. Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Ryan Newman restarts fourth.
On 2. Right, he just took 2 tires, correct?
That's correct.
And then Kenseth and Earnhardt and all those guys behind him took 4. So, boy, if Newman can hold these guys off with 2 tires, he's going to be really tough to handle.
Earnhardt Jr. restarted 6th. There's Dale in the 81.
I wonder if he changed his tires. Did he change his
He
tires?
changed 4.
Oh,
I watched him.
Biffle in the 66. Also took 4.
See, Elliott Sadler, the 90 car, has moved into the 7th position.
And that crew has already had a busy night working with Elliott Sadler. He even hit a tire on pit road earlier in the race. Let's check in with AB downstairs.
Well, a couple minutes ago, Kyle Busch was racing for the lead. Now he's helping his crew load up the car. What happened?
Snapped the gears on a transmission. Not exactly sure why. I mean, we had the same problem happen to us in Sears Point, but everything was going good. I don't see anybody beating that 39 car tonight except this 57, and it's really a shame. You know, the Stay Green Winterizer car was awesome tonight. I had a blast out there racing Newman and all those guys, but what are you gonna do? You know, you break a transmission. This car's had the worst luck. As I see, there goes Newman for the lead. Good luck, everybody.
I think that big size said it all about Kyle's night, huh?
Yes, sir.
And everybody was the other competitors on the racetrack trying to outrun the 39 car.
Ryan Newman going for his 5th straight win in the NASCAR Busch Series. Check in with Marty.
Hey guys, Brad Parrott calls himself an old school tire man, and he has a lot of knowledge about how to make tires work. Here's what he's doing with Carl Edwards tires. He's put towels over top of them, and there's a crash on the racetrack, guys.
Multi-car crash. Regan Smith is in it.
Looks like Kevin Hamlin may be in the 4 car.
Smith, who made a beautiful save earlier in this race.
Oh,
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin. The other Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin 6th in the championship standing, straight to the Busch garage. 23-year-old Regan Smith has had some good runs and some lousy luck. Take a look at it. It's already underway.
I don't know. Looks like those 2 cars got together somehow going down in turn 3.
Looks like they're wrecking.
And they're definitely wrecking.
So the caution out here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman leads Matt Kenseth and Martin Truex Jr. on TNT.
Ryan Newman leading under caution here from the Lowe's Motor Speedway with 83 laps in the books. Denny Hamlin is back in the Busch Series garage. What happened to start your wreck, Denny?
I think the levitation wrecked my car. You can't race side by side at 190 miles an hour and not expect something to happen. Just one of those things, you know, faster is not better for racing, and it's been proven in the spring race, all the cautions. Just one of those racing deals. I got loose under him earlier, trying to just be easy, and we're just going way too fast here. Hopefully the racetrack will tear up everybody else's car we're racing them points with. Won't be so bad.
You can hear their hammers working in the background trying to get this number 20 car back on the racetrack.
I talked about that. We got another car on the wall. Just bouncing off the wall anyway. Casey Kane. When you go too fast, right, like these guys are at, when you get side by side through the corners and you're close side by side, it makes the cars very, very loose. And it's hard to race because you're going so fast. You don't want to be around another race car because it makes your car really squirrely.
Aaron Fox, the 43 car, off the pace. And Casey Kane still trying to get his car down to the inside.
Yeah.
Here's what happened a moment ago.
Well, Casey Kane hit the wall pretty hard. Looks like he got a little bit loose. He corrected the car and he slammed the wall pretty hard. He flattened out the side of the car pretty good.
And that's why it looked like Aaron Pike was off the pace, because he was trying to get past the 38.
Dave?
And guys, they were fairly happy with that race car during the last run. They pitted for 4 tires, but didn't make any chassis adjustments. Casey saying the car started to come to him at the end of the run. So no changes made. They probably will come in. They're getting some tires on the wall just in case he needs them. Here it comes now.
They may have some things bent on that car too, as hard as he hit, Dave.
Ryan Newman leads Matt Kenseth, who took 2 tires, runs second.
And the reason that some of these guys do not change any tires, 2 tires, NASCAR Busch Series competitions, they have a tire rule. Tonight, these cars can only use 5 sets of tires, the one they started with and 4 other sets. If they run out of tires or put that 5th set on, they might have to run 50, 60 laps with them.
You've got to manage your tires well, but in a situation like this, when you're eating tires up so fast, it's hard to manage them.
I don't know how you get around that. I think if they still continue to blister tires, then NASCAR will not have any choice but to issue the teams 1 more set of tires.
Then you have to wonder if there are enough tires to do that, because you have to do it for everybody.
They have to be available for everyone.
And then you go back to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who runs 6th and apparently hasn't had any tire issues to this point.
And so you say, well, I can set my car without having any tire issues, so why are you giving everybody else a set of tires?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not a call you want to have. You have to make.
Yeah. Tony Stewart on the move, Dave Burns.
And having a good time out there, Bill. He keyed his mic for his team during the last run, held it open for an entire lap, said, listen to this, guys. He left the motor running, and you could hear him in the corners barely lifting, and he came back to his crew afterwards.
We got trouble in the backstretch, Dave.
Nope.
Wow. Adrian Fernandez, we saw him earlier during qualifying, crash. Well, guess what?
Boy,
we have another one.
That team has gone through a lot of race cars this year.
He's
with
lost
different drivers.
He's lost 2 cars here in about 6 hours.
I got him by mistake and then he got me.
And I think he wrecked the car in practice over here.
In testing?
In testing.
The 10 checked up. Looks, everything's clean, everything.
This was off turn 4, now we come by the start-finish line. That's Brent Sherman in the 10. Oh, some contact there.
This is, there they are side by side off of 2. He just gets loose up underneath the 10 car, like I was talking about. When you're running so close side by side on this racetrack going so fast, you lose the air off your rear spoilers, especially if you're on the bottom of the racetrack. If you're a guy on the low side,
the ride begins.
And that inside wall we talked about earlier, not hitting Regan Smith when he avoided hitting the inside wall. That was a big deal. And I'll tell you what, that's a heavy blow. The entire front end almost knocked off that 5 car.
So Adrian heads for the ambulance and the infield care center. Under caution, our 6th of the night at Charlotte. "93 laps are complete." It was all peaceful and nice and friendly. Then they put out the green flag. And the early going was okay.
And everything went so good to lap 29 when Jimmy Johnson, the right front tire, goes back down in turn 1.
Lap 43, contact. Regan Smith with a magnificent save. He didn't hit anything, and nobody hit him. Then, championship contender Clint Boyer.
Yep, he gets into Kevin Harvick, slides up the racetrack, and pretty much takes himself out, but he hit that wall very hard, driver's side. He got out slow, but he's feeling it.
Then contact between Carl Edwards and Johnny Sauter. Sauter drove the car back to the garage, declined our invitation for an interview. Then Regan Smith and Denny Hamlin. And Adrian Fernandez, after bumping and banging with Brent Sherman, just got loose. Hits the inside wall. Lost a car here this afternoon in qualifying, and that one's done too. 6 different leaders, 6 caution periods for 26 of the 94 laps. During the 600-mile race here for the Nextel Cup Series in May, 22 caution periods for more than 100 laps.
back at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, almost set to go back racing with tonight's NASCAR Busch Series event on TNT. All the talk about tires down here on pit road. I just spoke with Rick Campbell, Goodyear's senior engineer here. Right rear tires are blistering tonight. I asked Rick why. He said, we don't know. These are the same tires we ran here in the May race without problems. We didn't see any heat issues during the practice runs of the last 2 days. We don't know what's going on. We're trying to figure it out. And then he scurried off to look at another set of tires to try and help figure it out. Bill?
All right, Alan, thanks a lot. We'll keep our eyes on that situation. Field coming to get the green. The top 25 cars on the track now did not pit. Martin Truex Jr. did. He's now scored in the 25th position. Kevin Harvick pitted. He's 26th, was 13th. And Robbie Gordon, who was 12th, also came to pit road. He's 28th. As they run now, it's the top 24 guys on the track. Did not come down pit road. Green flag is out. Ryan Newman leads.
Kenny Wallace on the inside had an unscheduled pit stop a few laps ago on the green for a flat tire. That's what he's doing on the inside. That's what he's doing a couple of laps down.
He is 2 laps down, so he's trying to get one of those laps back, but I don't think anybody's going to get a lap back from Ryan Newman tonight.
He has led 75 of the 97 laps. Adrian Fernandez treated and released from the infield care center.
And the 81 car, the red car on the inside, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has lost 5 or 6 positions. Tony Stewart, Menard. Dave, what's going on with 81?
Well, BP, you guys are kind of talking about it during the break. You know, what's going on in terms of him not moving forward. It's not a great race car tonight. Junior says, though, if we could make the right rear stand up a little bit more, maybe more air pressure, I'd be happier with it. But didn't qualify well. Only got to the front by track position so far.
I got you.
Matt, how about Menard?
His other teammate in the Menard's car, the 11, Paul Menard, his car, after an air pressure adjustment, Bill, on the left side tires, he says the car has really come to life and is handling very well.
That's Tony Stewart in that 19 car tonight, his final Busch race of the season.
Leffler in the 32, right behind the 11 car, Paul Menard.
Then he told you about Kenny Wallace in 22. Earnhardt Jr. in the 81.
Uh-oh, Junior, I think you picked the wrong line there, Junior. What's going on with the 32, Marty?
Well, BP, the longer this race goes, the better that car gets for Jason Leffler. They've been a little bit tight.
Yeah.
And look at this. Hang on, Kenny Wallace.
Oh, right in front of everybody. Earnhardt Jr.
In the grass.
Earnhardt gets into Tony Raines trying to avoid
And
Kenny
Raines
Wallace.
across the track, it's David Green.
Man.
7th caution period of the night.
Lots and lots of damage to that 27 car. They met head on. David Green in the 22 car.
Kenny Wallace in the 22. Tony Raines.
Did David hit the 33 or the 22? Not sure which. Whoever he did, he hit hard.
He hit Raines. I believe we'll take a look again. There's Tony out of his car. David Green, former series champion.
David lives about 3 or 4 miles from the Speedway.
In the top 10 in the championship standings this season. Has his helmet off.
Yeah, you can see him moving around inside.
Pit road is closed, but the pace car brings the field through the pits so they can stay off the front stretch here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. A lot of debris and safety equipment out there.
I wouldn't be surprised maybe if David's feet. It looks like he's trying to get out. Your feet and legs really take a beating on these kind of crashes.
David from Owensboro, Kentucky. It's a hand from the fans here in the front stretch.
Looks like he is okay.
There's Clint Boyer, who was in an earlier crash. Okay, now let's see what happened here.
Leffler just got sideways corrected. We've seen it a bunch of times here. It just gets into Kenny Wallace. Earnhardt goes low. Raines goes low to miss him. And they just get tangled up together.
And that was Tony Raines that the 27 car David Green plowed into.
Look at it again.
Kenny Wallace trying to hang on to it. Couldn't do it. Junior gets clipped.
Boy, and David Green had open racetrack, and all of a sudden that 33 car came sliding across the grass.
You think it's all behind you at that point, don't you?
Yep.
Coming right at you. On board with Kenny Wallace.
Good gracious, that debris.
Still there. Still there. Busch. Hold it. See if you can hold it. Hold it. And then it was catastrophic from there on in.
Kenny got away with, I don't think he hit anything.
I don't think he's got a lot of damage to that 22 car.
I think he has damage to the nose of it. Got clipped coming right across the front of it. The guys in the crash, and they continue to work on the front stretch cleanup.
And they've stopped the cars on the backstretch.
Race has been red flagged. 102 laps complete.
You see all those cars parked that way, pointing downhill, down this way. Well, when they restart the race, all these cars, these engines have been turned off. Well, sometimes they get hot, the starter doesn't want to work properly, and they just won't start. So this way they can just let them roll down the hill, use the clutch to start the cars.
Okay, let's check in with Alan.
Kenny Wallace out of his car. Kenny, kind of a wild ride out there.
Yeah, you know, I hate it for everybody, you know. Had loose left rear lug nuts about 10 laps before that. I'm sure you've seen that. So I was trying to get my lap back, and, you know, just running, you see it right there, just got together, holding my lane of 32. When you're running that fast, you know, it's hard to hold your line. And as you can see, the 32 just came up and got into my left rear. But, you know, we're all good racers. It's just you're running wide open through 1 and 2 with these Busch cars, and just hard to hold your lane, I guess. I don't know. I seen the replay right there. Just I hated that everybody else got in that accident. But what are you going to do? AutoZone Ford. Go to AutoZone and buy your parts. It's fall car care season. Thank you.
All right, Kenny. Thank you.
He's going to need some parts.
Yeah.
He's going to have a lot of customers there.
John Wood has also gone to the garage in the 47 car, so he must have gotten a piece of that as well. Race has been red flagged, 7th caution period of the night. NASCAR Busch Series racing at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
Red flag out here at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte. You see the field of cars stopped on the back straightaway, and we're beginning to have quite a field of cars here in the garage area as well. Dale Earnhardt Jr. just caught up to his machine. What'd you see out there?
Well, we went down in the corner, and the 32 went in on the bottom and just drove, you know, his car couldn't stick down there. He slid up the racetrack into the 22 and just turned him sideways. You know, I saw it, you know, happening like way up on the straightaway. I'm like, you ain't gonna make it, you ain't gonna make it. But he just drove her down in there. And sooner or later, maybe he'll figure it out. But I did it last week in the Cup race, and everybody makes mistakes. And I don't know if he realized he made one, but he did. But, you know, we just had a good car and had fun. And thank my guys for putting it together for me. Had a great run, and the car was fast. And we'll have fun tomorrow.
There are a lot of guys having tire troubles here tonight. You did not stop for tires the first time around when everyone did. What was the discussions between yourself and your team about tires and what you had seen?
Well, I was talking to myself whether that right front was going to blow out or something going to blow out. You know, I was just worried about something going to blow out. But well, like 20 laps before I pitted. We pitted on lap 71 or something like that. 20 laps before that, I started feeling a big vibration in the right side. The right rear was started blistering, and that's what it was. I guess a lot of guys are blistering tires on the right rears, but I thought it'd be the right front. We're out there plowing, pushing on the right front real hard, and I can't complain about a Goodyear tire anymore because these things here are getting the heck beat out of them going around here as fast as we are. So if they can build anything that holds up here, they can build it to last anywhere else. So just I can't believe the right rear tires are blistering, though. That don't make no sense.
And Goodyear's is puzzled about it as well. Concerns for tomorrow night over that at all?
Absolutely. I mean, it will go faster with a heavier car through the corner. So obviously everybody's concerned. I'm sure a lot of these Cup crew chiefs have been sticking around in the garage area in the pits out here tonight just watching this race and seeing what happens. And I think Tony Jr. was anyways, but I don't know. All you can do is, as a driver, is run it as hard as it'll go and hope nothing happens. So, you know, that's all you do as a driver. If you start feeling something, though, it's kind of smart to break it back a couple tenths and wait for that caution or something like that to get her going and see if you got any problems. I don't know how to fix that blistering on the right rear, though. That's there's nothing you can do there. You can't change a slug or anything like you can in front. So,
Thanks for the time. Sorry you're out tonight. To Dave.
Now I'm caught up with Greg Zipadelli, now crew chief for Tony Stewart. And other than a little miscue on pit road there, put him back a little bit. Pretty good night so far?
Yeah, this DLP Chevrolet's been good. It's a brand new car that the Busch shop built for us to come over here and test. They did a great job. We're just having some fun. Some of our Cup guys and some of the guys from the Busch shop and just put this together as a one-race deal, and we're having fun. Car's running good. Tony's doing a great job. He's having some fun out there tonight, so hopefully take the edge off of you know, the pressure we have on the other side for next 6 races.
And your Pops, right? He keeps calling out things to Pops here, like notes and stuff, right?
It's actually Pots, and I'm not sure where it came from. It's
really?
just yeah, just one of those things. You know, we got a lot of names for each other. Just depends on how the day's going.
Thank you for correcting me on that, and I'm now getting some help from down below there. I expected that. As far as tomorrow night goes, what are you learning? I noticed he was mentioning some things about this car. I don't know if those are just Busch notes or if you're actually learning some things for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think just and from the time we started to the end and what we made for adjustments and how much the racetrack tightened up, that's about all. And that you know, we came over here and tested with the Cup car and wrecked 2 cars, and we got our 3rd car going pretty good. But you know, all of our confidence was down that you know, we went out and right off the bat and the racetrack was green and got loose and wrecked the car. We came back with the Busch car and tested, got his confidence, mine back up of where we needed to be with the race car. Came over here. The Cup car has been awesome. I mean, right off the truck, the top of the board, and you know, all the practices. So hopefully tomorrow night we're gonna have a good night, stay out of trouble. That's what this will be about tomorrow. Tire management, as far as they seem to be blistering some tires and wearing some right fronts. A lot of heat. They're not getting the heat out of the tires. They're running so fast here that seems like they're holding heat. So you know, hopefully we'll probably be a little conservative in a lot of things tomorrow, and just try to get through tonight and hopefully get the Home Depot Chevrolet to victory lane here.
Okay, that's Greg Zipadelli, and Tony Stewart remains at the racetrack. We go to Matt.
Dave, 2 guys who are smiling, Newt Moore, Greg Biffle's crew chief, and Biffle in the car. Now, on the last set of tires that came off, Newt, the right rear, the wear looks like it's getting better.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better. You know, we only had 20 laps on it, and it started to show a little bit. We had twice that much on them, or 30 laps on the first set, and it showed pretty bad. So hopefully the cautions and, you know, the heat cycles in the tires are going to help it quite a bit.
In fact, Greg Biffle just told Newt on the radio, I want to pit maybe 40 or 50 green flag laps on this set of tires. Bill?
Thanks, guys. Tony Raines has been treated and released from the infield care center. David Green is being transported to a local hospital for further evaluation. We did see David climb out of the car and walk away under his own power. Under the red flag here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Getting ready to, there you see the indication for the drivers to restart their machines. 102 laps are complete.
Let's try to talk to Elliott Sadler's back there. Hey, Elliott, Benny Parsons, you got me?
And all the tire wears from today's Cup practice and everything. If we need to put on 4 if that's safe, then do that. I was just trying to use some pitch strategy. But if y'all feel safer doing that,
we better not talk to Elliott.
He's talking to somebody else, and it's not you right now.
It's not me. That's correct.
And they're all talking strategy right now, tire strategy, on what's left in the race, what they have left in the pits, and what they think they should do.
Dave?
And I have been listening to the 90 throughout the race. They've got a pretty good race car, and they've checked their tire wear, and they reported back to Elliott that our tires are very good. They've got 2 fresh sets remaining in the pits, plus 1 with only a few laps on it. So they've got lots of tires till the end if they want to bolt them on.
And Dave, they had some problems earlier in the night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They were worried about a vibration on the right front of that car, and they got that fixed. And they also had a problem on pit road with a little slow stop. Actually, that was the 19 I'm thinking about, but they have fixed that problem so far. He hasn't reported that vibration in quite some time.
Okay, pit road is open. Most of the leaders passing up the opportunity.
Well, I guess they've chosen not to pit, so let's try him again. Elliott Sadler, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Hey, BP, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. This racetrack is fast, Elliott.
That is an understatement. I can't believe how much we're on the gas running in open air like this up front. It's pretty crazy. But, you know, the high groove is starting to come in a little bit, which is a great sign for tomorrow night, too. So, but we're not out of the gas long. Somebody's really got to slip pretty bad when you kind of get up beside them, especially up this close to the front.
So you are getting some grip on the high side. I see a lot of cars going up there. Is because of grip or just trying to get closer to the wall in case you have a tire problem?
That might be 2 birds with 1 stone. What it is, you know, we've been running on the bottom all day long, being cup practice and, you know, Busch qualifying, and it's just getting a little greasy right there where your right side tires will be. So we're starting to move up a little bit. You know, everybody's always looking for that fresh asphalt. You know, it's got a little bit of grip on it to make the car rotate. You know, and keeping these Busch motors wound up. You know, we're not out of the gas hardly at all. And the more momentum you can keep up, the better you can be. So, I know we're going to try to keep up with them right now to see the financial forward's good. And so we can hang around the top 5 until the end and see what happens.
All right, good luck, pole sitter, for tomorrow night.
All right. Therefore, I appreciate it, Benny. Y'all have a good one.
Elliott Sadler currently 4th, and as BP mentioned, is on the pole for tomorrow night's NASCAR Nextel Cup race, sharing the front row with Ryan Newman. The drama of NBA opening night is on TNT. The biggest stars in the league take the court for the first time this season. The quest for the championship starts right here. Don't miss NBA opening night November 1st at 7 o'clock Eastern on TNT.
Is it basketball season again?
Yes, it is.
Man, where did the year go?
Ryan Newman has led 82 of the 104 laps that we have completed. Matt Kenseth runs 2nd. Then it's Greg Biffle, Elliott Sadler, and Tony Stewart. A handful of drivers deeper in the field have been on and off of pit road following the red flag, including Jason Leffler. His team is attending to his car. He was involved in the contact with Kenny Wallace. John Wood has returned to pit road. His team had gone to the garage to work on his car, we're told.
John Wood ran in the back of someone in that crash. I don't know exactly what he damaged, but I did see him run in the back of a car on the Jason Leffler Kenny Wallace crash.
Jason Keller getting a speeding penalty, too fast exiting pit road. You see the drivers involved in the chase for the Nextel Cup. 7 of them in this race tonight. Jimmy Johnson out early. Brought out the first caution.
Kevin Moss gives them the signal. 1 to go. And we'll be back racing again.
Clint Boyer, 2nd in the championship standings, who also was involved in the crash earlier in the night, has returned to the track, is now on pit road, getting service from his crew. Casey Kane, 32nd, 2 laps down.
You know, like Dale Jr. said too, you know, as a driver, every one of these drivers knows there's a tire issue. Not a whole lot you can do about it when you're a driver. You have to run the car as hard as you can and just hope that it's not you.
That rear is a mystery.
That's a strange one. I mean,
and these tires are the same tires the Nextel Cup Series will use tomorrow night. So that's what triggers all the interest from the Nextel Cup crew chiefs to see how the Busch Series cars race on these tires.
My guess is that speed has something to do with those right rear tires. Just the absolute blinding speed these cars have tonight.
I guess if your car's balanced a certain way, you can blister a right rear.
Ryan Newman brings them to the green flag, completing lap 106 of 200.
Biffle's car looked awfully loose right there in that restart going through 1 and 2. In fact, he's going to lose a position.
Elliott Sadler.
Couple of them.
And Tony Stewart by Biffle. Oh, Biffle in the wall.
Boy, you know, his car was awfully loose down there on the restart.
They have not put out the caution flag. And now the caution is out. Once Biffle missed the entrance to pit road, they had to put out the caution.
And he's just taking the shortcut.
We were on board, and here's what it looks like.
The car just got loose there, too.
Matt?
Bill, they asked him, are you okay? He said, yes, I had a flat right rear. He's on pit road to fix the damage. He was running third.
Back from Tony Stewart's car. And we saw this on board with the Biff.
And as Wally said, he had lost the positions down the backstretch, so he knew that something was wrong. He didn't go in turn 3 at top speed that time because he felt like something was wrong. And I guess they decided that the damage is too severe to even try to fix. Well, I see the tape back there, so maybe they are trying to fix it.
Biffle 8th in Busch Series points. But will miss next week's race because he wants to focus on the chase for the Nextel Cup. Well, we're under caution at the Lowe Motor Speedway outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, now I know what Wally Dallenbach did with one of his comp tickets for tonight's race.
BP, I never heard you say cue the duck.
That is hilarious.
Oh, man. I heard they sold one of those. I just didn't know to who. Field coming to get the green. 110 laps are complete. Working our 8th caution period. We've had 35 of the 110 laps under the caution.
And this thing started so innocent. We'd run along about 29, 30 laps, no caution flags, and now we can't run 10 laps.
Think it's going to get better or worse?
Well, we're going to be out of cars soon.
Oh, you're a bad person.
Man.
Just calling it like you see it, right?
Just calling it like I
just
see
like
it.
that umpire the other night. Only he didn't call it. Newman, Kenseth, Elliott Sadler, Tony Stewart, Paul Menard. Coming around to complete lap 111 in the Dollar General 300.
Newman is bringing them down pretty slow in those restarts, but
Matt Kenseth moves to the inside.
he's going to cost him the lead too, possibly. Oh, nice move. Hogging a little racetrack. Didn't hog enough, though. Newman back on the outside.
Man, what a run that 39 car got off of turn 2.
Well, they're going into 3. Let's see if they come out of 4.
39 is fast.
He is really, really fast.
3 wide.
All right.
Newman to second. Or check that. Stewart to second. Behind Newman. Elliott Sadler gave up a couple of spots.
Here's the list of the drivers' car numbers.
Thank you. They were telling me to throw it down to the garage, and I got excited. Marty.
That's all right, Bill. That was some intense racing. Greg, do you have any indication the right rear was going down before it did?
Yeah, I went across 1 and 2 there, and I knew something was wrong with the car. I figured it was a rear tire, but you know, I should have backed off going into 3 and 4 there. I knew there was something wrong, and we had a flat right rear tire, and I just got away from me down there. I tried to save it the best I could. You know, it's really hard. We're going so fast here. You get a flat tire, there's just no driving it, and no chance to win. We don't want to take any chances of getting out there, getting in somebody's way, or getting hurt, especially how fast the racetrack is here.
This is a sign of things to come for tomorrow night?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it's take an 1.5 inch of spoiler off the back of them and give them 100 more horsepower. Tell me what you're going to see.
A lot of cautions is what Biffle told me.
Is that McMurray's second trip in the wall?
Yeah,
it
sure is, and he almost brought out another caution. Thanks, Marty. Carl Edwards goes by.
Carl Edwards in 14th spot.
We were lucky that McMurray thing wasn't bigger.
Yes. Got about 3 cars wide up in 3 and 4, and we talked about they're just going way too fast. With 3 or 4 wide in the corners. That pink car is Brent Sherman, the 10.
It's Harvick in the 21.
Tell you what, Jamie McMurray in that 64 is hanging there pretty tough after the contact he had with the outside retaining wall.
He's got to be wondering what's going to break next, though.
Yeah.
If you're hitting the wall like that.
Yeah, like a couple times already.
22 of Kenny Wallace has returned to the race. He's 17 laps down.
There we see.
Oh, I don't know why.
I don't know. He might want to beat. He might run a couple of laps and beat a couple of cars.
Well,
yeah.
he's got he's got to run 2 or 3 laps. He picks up 3 positions. Yeah. But that car, I doubt, will make minimum speed.
I don't think he's making the minimum speed.
NASCAR posts a minimum speed that these cars have to maintain to be able to run out. That speed today is 32.02 seconds. It's based off of speed in happy hour.
If you don't make that speed, they black flag you.
And you're done for the night because you only get 1 chance. Kenseth runs 3rd, Alan.
Maybe not for long, Bill. On the last 2 laps, Matt's been on the radio. I think I have a loose wheel. It's vibrating bad. He just came in and said, all right, guys, I'm going to pit this time. So Kenseth to come to pit road now.
And the worst part about it, he can't make it the rest of the way.
He almost got run over right there.
Waited a long time.
45 miles per hour.
4 tires. Got the air pressure adjustments we talked about. Matt, we're in silver uniforms here. You're about
Guys
4 pits away, yeah.
Wearing different suits. When you're running a Busch car, you're used to seeing your guys every week in a certain color. When you run a Busch car, sometimes they're different. You're looking for your guys to normally wear the Cup uniforms and go blowing by.
AB?
Well, we'll get a good look at these tires that come off Kenseth's car to see what the problem was. They changed all 4 tires and have sent him back out. Very costly unless this race stays green and everybody else has to pit under green.
And the voice you heard, you saying, well, that was not Robbie Roger. That was Chad Norris,
right,
the crew chief for this 9 car.
Just to work on the 12 car of Ryan Newman.
21 is putting some heat in that left front tire.
Hey, Dave, is this the damage when he hit the Matt Kenseth car trying to come in pits?
Well, they're trying to figure it out right now, BP. They radioed back quick to Reed, hey, that wasn't your fault. It did surprise him a lot, and that smoke has only started since that either near miss or close contact with the 9 car.
I'm pretty sure they hit Dave coming in.
How did he keep control, Wally? That's what I don't understand.
Well, like Bill pointed out, Matt was up on the racetrack and turned in right at the last minute. And when you do that, you got to jump on the brake so you don't spin out when you hit pit lane. So these guys were all bunched up. I don't know if Matt signaled that he was coming in. If these cars, you see the 41 on the bottom, and I mean, he is close to speed is quick, and that's where the contact was made.
Not a lot of contact, but just enough to knock those paper thin fenders in on the tire.
And you can see the shiny part on the left front tire where it's real shiny. That's where the fender is rubbing. It's rubbing on the side wall and the top of the tire.
And looks like it's made the clearance it's going to make, and it's stopped rubbing.
Reed Sorensen is third in the championship standings. 84 points out of second.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He cut a tire.
Caution is out.
That was a right front, though, that went down.
Yes, it was.
Man, you just hammer the wall when you blow a tire like that going this fast.
You can see the safer barrier there at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
You all right, bud?
Oh. He said 10-4, but he really didn't mean it.
You see the fluids
He's trying to find
underneath the car.
Sorry, Wally. He's trying to find his breath, wasn't he?
Exactly, because you just knocks all the air out of your body.
So Boyer, who was second in the standings coming in, has wrecked. Now Sorensen, who was third. Hamlin, who was fifth. Wallace, who was sixth. Green, who was eighth. Biffle, who was ninth. You're right, we're running out of cars.
Watch here as it goes down in the corner. The right front goes flat. And you are along for the ride when that happens.
Listen.
Oh, I hate to see those things because I remember all those miserable days. But Wally talked about the safer barrier. See all this stuff up here is what he was talking about. Behind this, back here, is solid concrete. That's what they used to hit here. And imagine doing this. That's what we used to. Imagine.
That explains a lot.
Doing what they're doing tonight with that solid concrete wall back there at the speed they're running.
That's an energy absorbing barrier. Okay, leaders coming to pit road. A lot of guys coming to pit road. Burns?
Tony Stewart's car is just a little bit tight, so he said, Greg, if you're going to free it up, just free it up a little bit. No wrenches going in. Perhaps, oh, they are going to put a wrench, slight wedge adjustment in the 19. Allen.
Leader Ryan Newman is going to get 4 tires. They will also make a slight chassis adjustment. He reported beginning to feel a little vibration just before the caution came out. Matt?
The 11 of Paul Menard, they're going to make a track bar adjustment. He was tight on that last run, hit pit road in the 3rd position. Has a great run going tonight. 4-tire change as his teammate Martin Truex goes with a 2-tire stop, and he'll beat his teammate off. Trouble on the 11, a little slow. He is finally away.
Fuel only for Kevin Harvick. He wins the race off of pit road. The big loser here, Matt Kenseth, had to pit under the green. 9th caution period of the day. 37 laps of the 125 we have run have been under the yellow. Hard hit for Reed Sorensen here at Lowe's.
And you sound unbelievable.
Caution periods for 41 laps. These guys are earning their money tonight, and we're going to give them our Just for Men rejuvenating moments of the race to those guys.
And I'm afraid we might see more of these rejuvenating moments tomorrow night in the NASCAR Nextel Cup race.
We got 70 more to work on here. Marty, what are you doing?
And a hard hit for Reed Sorensen, hanging out with him, and fortunately he's okay. That was a very hard hit. Were you surprised the right front went instead of the left front that was smoking up?
I don't even know what it was. You have to tell me. I felt it right when I was going into one. I felt like something broke or a tire went down or something, and yeah.
So, watching the replay.
It's not pretty, but you know, we had a really good car. A lot of wrecks out there tonight. It's real hard to race around people because the track's so fast. I mean, you never let all the way out of the gas. You're basically almost wide open through 1 and 2. And when my car was good, I could hold it wide open through there and just lift enough just to get down the bottom over here. So, track's super fast, and you know, I was enjoying myself out there. It was actually a lot of fun. I think we could have got a pretty good run tonight. You know, none of the cars are in points were in front of us, and it would have been an all right night, but we're just going to the next race.
And the good thing is he walks out of the infield care center.
Thanks, Marty. We ran 29 green flag laps to start the race. Then we went 9, green flag laps, then 2, then 16, then 6 before the caution, then 7, then 5, then 2, then 13 laps.
I see a pattern developing, don't you?
A lot of wrecks. Dave Burns on David Stremme.
Thought you might like to know where he came from, Bill. He
I know where he came from, South Bend, Indiana.
Very nice, BP. Very
okay,
nice.
close Dave's mic.
Okay,
you
I'm done.
got more?
You know, I get to complete a story tonight. I haven't completed.
Just don't try the one that you brought out the 2 cautions.
You know,
with.
Tony Stewart earlier on the radio, it was open mic night. Never mind. Okay, David Stremme last pitted on lap 103. Car very good, just slight air pressure adjustment. Obviously, they'll have to stop again for fuel, but with 4 fresh tires on that stop, he could perhaps 2 right-sided at the end for track position.
You'd have to be a very brave man.
And I'm done with my story.
Thank you.
Okay.
Stremme, Todd Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield, TJ Bell did not stop. Harvick took fuel only. He's followed by Robbie Gordon, Martin Truex Jr., Justin Labonte, Jason Leffler.
And Ryan Newman, who's been so strong tonight, is now back in the 10th position.
And Matt Kenseth in the 9 car was the lucky dog. And last time by, he was scored 23rd on the lead lap. They're still working on cleanup here.
That's what I was going to say.
Because you saw something out the window here.
No,
didn't
I
you?
saw those guys working a turn 2. And I said, they better hurry up if they're going to go green here this lap.
You know, Mike Kelly, the car chief on the Kurt Busch car, came up with a great idea last week. These rescue vehicles or safety vehicles, they need a huge magnet to go behind them to ride around the racetrack and pick up all those brake rotors and metal. I think it's a great idea, Mike. It's a great idea. I've been trying to sell it.
Think it's going to happen?
I don't know.
Okay. Call the patent office, because somebody will be working on that tomorrow. Field has gotten the 1 to go.
They'll need a driver for that thing, won't they?
Oh, yeah. The safety vehicle. Yeah.
I may put my name in the hat.
Would you use me as a reference, please?
I don't believe I would.
Alan?
Hey, let's talk about Kevin Harvick here for just a minute, Bill. They pitted at lap 92, and most of the other front runners stayed out. So this past time, when all the leaders pitted at 125, Kevin only took fuel. I just spoke to his crew chief, Ricky Byers. They still have another set of new tires in their pits. That's something that's getting to be in short supply down here. He says they can make it to the finish on fuel if they have to, but he doesn't expect they're going to have to. He thinks they'll be in to get those tires and some fuel on another caution somewhere between now and the checkers.
So he's thinking there might be, just by the stroke of luck, another caution, huh?
Yeah, you think he sees a pattern here? Were we just talking about patterns?
And I hope they're not it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm hearing? That NASCAR actually tried that magnet idea.
Oh, really?
And it didn't work.
Why not, I wonder? Well,
why don't you work on that?
I'll have to work on that and get back with
We're going to be here a couple more hours. You might be able to find out the answer. Stremme leads, we're under green. Everybody hang on.
Yeah. Todd Bodine in second spot right there, the 34 car, and he's got Mayfield on his rear bumper. As Harvick works the high side of TJ Bell. Robbie Gordon with him.
And here comes Martin Truex Jr. in that 8 car, the championship leader. Mayfield's car was good earlier in the race, very good. Side by side with Harvick in the 21.
Take the spot. Looks like Gordon's going to take a look on the inside of Mayfield.
Robbie in the 55. Mayfield hangs on for now.
A little loose. Robbie gets a little bit loose here in front of Truex.
Harvick the high side of Todd Bodine, with Mayfield on his bumper.
So Harvick moves into
Oh! Newman slides up the racetrack into TJ Bell.
Look out! Wow.
Got in his left rear quarter panel, and that's the result.
A little angry. TJ Bell.
Can you get it rolling?
So let me try.
10th caution period of the night. Is what Wally was talking about.
Newman's down the bottom and gets loose, and he goes up to the top, and unfortunately TJ was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
What if TJ wasn't there? Think Ryan makes a save there?
I think he would have hit the wall, but he would have saved it. He wouldn't have hit it hard.
I think Ryan might have actually saved the car, but now it really doesn't matter because
he didn't save TJ's.
No, he didn't.
This is Tony Stewart.
Stay low, stay low, stay low. Stop.
Casey Kane is the lucky dog. He scored 2 laps down.
I don't think he feels very lucky tonight.
No. Pit road is open. See what happens.
Not many takers, I don't imagine.
Wouldn't think so.
Anything's going to happen.
No. There you go. At 12 caution periods here back in '93.
I think we're going to blow that away.
Now this has obviously been a car that's been on rails tonight. See if that affects it much. I don't think it will, but
Alan?
Well, crew chief Roy McCauley asked Ryan how much contact he made with the 36, and Ryan said, I feel like I barely brushed him if I did it all. Roy said, is our right front damaged? Ryan said, I don't think so. Now they're getting a look at it, and we'll see what they decide to do.
Those TV monitors come in handy for the crews, don't they, Alan?
They are all camped around it right now.
I'll give you a report on the way by here.
actually there's more damage than I thought, really. Take a look at it there.
About 3/4 of the way up the tire, the fender's knocked in.
It's a little wrinkle right there. We'll get one to go when they get back to the start-finish line.
That may be all the difference it makes to make that car even with everybody else, because it wasn't even earlier.
No, it was much faster than everyone else.
Newman has led 102 laps of the 137. Currently runs in the 7th spot. 600-mile race in May had 22 cautions. This is 300 miles, half that distance. We're at least going to have half as many cautions, assuming there's one more, and perhaps break the record.
It looks like there's going to be one more.
It looks fine.
So the crew seems to feel comfortable with it. Alan?
Yeah, last communication, Bill, was Roy McCauley, the crew chief, asking Ryan if he felt anything rubbing. Ryan said, no, it all feels good, Roy. Roy said, great, keep digging.
Got to build up your confidence to drive that thing down into turn 1, don't you?
Yes, you do.
If it's going to rub, you'll know in turn 1 at speed.
And Alan talks about Roy McCauley being the crew chief on this 39 car. It's not Matt Borland. They have an entire different crew, a different pit crew. They don't bring over the guys from the 12 car. They're training new pit crew guys. And I think that's a terrific idea. After all, Penske has 3 NASCAR Nextel Cup teams. He's always needing a new jack man, a new tire changer. This is their training ground.
Matt Borland is the crew chief for Ryan in the Nextel Cup Series. Ryan, one of the 10 drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Stremme leads, then it's Harvick, Mayfield, Todd Bodine, and Robbie Gordon.
Let's see if that fender rubs, BP.
Yep.
It'll be awfully close on the Newman car.
Everybody will be watching that. 7th car in line. Coming around a complete lap, 139. See how many we get in this time. Single file. That was a good courtesy from those guys not on the lead lap.
Robbie Gordon goes by the 34 car, Todd Bodine, so does Mark Truex Jr.
Here comes Newman.
And it looks like the tire is okay. No rub.
Doesn't look like it slowed him down either.
Once they tell you it looks fine, you have to trust them, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. But a lot of times, you know, it looks fine under the caution, but, you know, these cars run a lot lower when they're at speed, so it changes when they're going fast.
There's a NASCAR Series points leader, Mark Truex Jr. on the inside of Robbie Gordon. But we've seen on the bottom of the racetrack is not particularly the place to be. You get loose down there. We've seen that several times tonight.
Newman gets the position. Stremme continues to lead. Now, these are the guys in the top 10 in the Busch Series standings. Boyer crash, Sorensen crash. Edwards contributed to a crash, did lead a lap tonight. Hamlin crash. And there's more. Kenny Wallace crash, David Green crash, Greg Biffle crash. And those are the guys that came in the top 10. Tomorrow night, the 10 guys chasing the Nextel Cup do not want to be on this list.
We talked about Talladega being a wild card in the 10 races. It looks like that the Lowe's Motor Speedway is another joker in the deck.
Oh, Robbie's loose big time, getting into turn 3. He's going to lose a couple spots.
Maybe 3 spots. Yep.
Menard in the 11. Tony Stewart on board with Tony. The DLP HD TV ride. It's a Texas Instruments product. Of course, they're the sponsor for Hall of Fame racing. Coming to the Nextel Cup Series in 2006.
Man, Stewart's car is working good. Takes the spot from Robbie Gordon. Puts him 6th right now.
Davis Tribbett, 14, still leads Kevin Harvick. But Harvick's getting closer and closer.
Well, we're going green for a little while. Let's see if we can't work in a through the field here. Start with Dave.
And we'll start with the leader, David Stremme. How valuable is clean air? This car is very, very good out front of the field. They will have to stop one more time before this race is over. Alan?
I see Kevin Harvick in the orange car trying to take the lead away from David Stremme. Probably just as distressing as the fact that he hasn't passed Stremme yet. The fact that Ryan Newman is getting closer to Kevin Harvick's rear view mirror. See if Harvick can get around Stremme here and take that top spot. Looked like he had a run on him down the backstretch, but Stremme able to hold him off.
Been working on him hard.
I would say he's got a little urgency to get this done, wouldn't you? Seeing what's behind him?
Without a doubt, because there's the 39 of Ryan Newman right behind these guys. Okay, let's continue going through the field. Alan?
Yeah, we were holding for a pass for the lead that didn't happen then.
But it's going to
may happen now.
Yep. Kevin Harvick, new race leader. Try now, Alan.
Okay, so Ryan Newman had the contact there with TJ Bell. The right front looked over. Car seems to be handling fine. He hasn't said anything on the radio since the restart. By the way, they are communicating with each other on the radio. Matt?
79 of Jeremy Mayfield running in the mirror of Ryan Newman. Now he says the car is good and it's coming to him, but not the same good car like the 39 has. Meanwhile, the 8 of Martin Truex, he has seen just about everything tonight. He's been at the back, he's been at the front, he has led laps, moved up into the top 5 when Gordon fell out with that bobble in 3 and 4, Dave.
2 stops ago, Tony Stewart restarted 14th after that bad pit stop. They have made their way back up into the top 10, running 6th right now. And Tony knows that Newman may have dinged up his fender a little bit as he goes underneath the 8 of Truex. Matt?
And Robbie Gordon settling in now to the 7th position after that bobble. Now he cannot make it to the end. They told Robbie he is short. The car a little on the free side. Snyder.
Matt, things things just starting to look good for Carl Edwards. They actually have 2 sets of tires left that they scuffed in earlier in the day as he tries to get around Robbie Gordon. But just a moment ago, told his crew, I might have a loose wheel. That would be bad news, Matt.
This is the battle for second. Ryan Newman past Stremme. Now sets out after Harvick. Back to you, Matt.
Paul Menard trying to close in on that 6th position in the championship standings. There's a big point gap there, but it is a slow buffer between himself and 8th. Right now having a great run, Dave, running in the 9th position. The car was on the tight side. They made a track bar adjustment on the last stop and put on 4 fresh tires.
Elliott Sadler's crew asked him to conserve a little bit with enough cautions. Well, we might try to make it. The last stop, they just changed 4 tires, took a little tape off the grill. He was running a little bit hot. As for the 18 of J.J. Yaley, he was a little bit hard to turn the car in the center of the corner. They made a track bar adjustment and changed 4 tires for him. It's worked pretty well. Alan?
Well, Matt Kenseth had the loose wheel. It brought him to pit road under green at lap 120. Got the lucky dog pass on the caution that came out just after that. His team just told him on the radio, you're faster than everyone on the racetrack but the leader. He said, I'm trying not to use it up right now. Dave?
A first for Sterling Marlin in the Busch Series tonight. He runs on the racetrack in a Busch Series race with his son Stedman. Stedman currently in the 27th position in the 12 car. Sterling in the 13th position. Alan?
Been kind of an adventurous night for Jamie McMurray. He has hit the wall twice in that 64 car and rearranged the sheet metal in the right front. They fixed it both times. They came in twice under that last caution and topped off the fuel, hoping it runs green to the finish. Dave?
Talked to Brett Sherman just before the race started. Said, you know, the one thing I really want to do tonight is miss everybody else's wrecks. So far, the 10 car has been able to do that. Brett runs in the top 20. Marty?
Dave, Todd Bodine last pitted at lap 103. They took on tires at that point, so they're on a little bit older tires than everyone else. They are about 6 laps short from making it all the way on fuel, but having a good run. Car's been tight for most of the evening. Jason Leffler, however, just past Todd. His car has been loose, as we saw earlier. They are 6 laps short from making it all the way on fuel. Car gets better, though, the longer this race goes. Dave?
Awesome Bill going back in the memory bank. Said, you know what? Richard Petty used to tell me, if you can't get to the end, you can't win. So he told his crew, last pit stop, I'm trying to stay patient, even though this is a tight race car. Marty?
John Wood had a great weekend last weekend at Kansas. Started second, finished 5th in that race. But tonight you can see the damage on the right front of that Clorox car. He's in 18th, but they have had a wreck earlier on, and John's been struggling with a tight race car all evening long. Alan?
Hey guys, just a transmission on Kevin Harvick, the leader's radio a minute ago. My throttle is sticking. Keep an eye on the leader, see if he has some troubles.
You want to explain that?
Well, I know what that's all about. I don't know what's causing his throttle to stick, but in Fontana, when my gas pedal went to the floor, they have a heat carpet on the floor, and the bottom of the pedal ripped that carpet, and it was sticking in the carpet. And I'll tell you what, you go flying down in a turn 1 at about $185, 190, and it sticks. Pretty exciting.
You back off the throttle to go in the corner, and the throttle doesn't back off.
Stays to the floor.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So what you have to do is you got to take your toe and you got to hook the pedal and pull it back up. Now you say, well, okay, well, if it's going to do it every lap, what do you do? Well, then you can't go full throttle. So the whole race, you got to go all the way almost to the floor, but not quite to the floor, so it won't stick. But I don't know what his situation is. It could be something in the carburetor or something else.
Alan, you got some more?
Hey, Wally, Kevin has just talked about, you know, if I have to, I'll use the switches. You make the assumption there that he's talking about the ignition switch, shut off the engine as he gets to the corner, then flip the switch back on, pop the clutch, and start it up again?
You know what? I don't think you can do that every lap here, Alan, because you're going so fast, and when you do that, you really upset the car. You unlock the engine when you shut it down, and when you turn it back on, it comes on full throttle, and I just don't think you can get away with that.
Todd Bodine, who was running in the top 5, just took his car to the garage. Marty, you got that?
Literally, when we were talking about him through the field, he said something's wrong with the engine guys. Came on a lap later, said we've lost the cylinder. Now they're going to go back to the garage.
Menard. Looks like he's picking up a couple of spots. He got by Yaley. Now he's passing Elliott Sadler in the 90 car. And his car looks like it's been working pretty good tonight.
Yes. Robbie Gordon leading this pack.
Sadler hangs tough on the outside.
The outside line is definitely the fastest. It's the better line when you're trying to race with someone.
Yeah, you have to complete the pass before you get into the corner, because if you go side by side in the corner and you're on the bottom, you're going to be loose.
Oh, contact between the 90 and 11. Sadler and Menard made contact off turn 4, and we almost had our next caution flag.
We've already had 10. The record is 12.
That takes the wind out of you. And Sadler lost a couple spots there.
But he was in that high groove, then he moved down low and then tried to come back up. Menard had filled the position. Carl Edwards and Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader in car 8. Car and spinning down. It's Robbie Gordon in turn 1.
The right rear tire blew on the 55 car.
Did you hear it?
Yes, I did.
I was looking for it. I heard it.
And we see the tire came apart and just basically ripped the quarter panel off the 55 car, the rear fender.
11th caution of the race.
I tell you, it's like playing Russian roulette. You're just waiting for it to happen to you.
Casey Kane is the lucky dog again. That will put him back on the lead lap.
That's the tread of the tire. There's the rest of the tire.
What's left of it.
This is
yeah, there it is.
Nope.
It happened going through the tri-oval.
I thought I heard a bang.
Yeah. We were all looking around.
Yeah. Boy, he fought that thing for...
Kept it off the wall. I mean, that
was the inner liner. Didn't the inner liner blow out about the time you hit the wall?
Yeah.
The inner liner, a tire inside the tire.
I'll tell you what, Robbie did a heck of a job hanging that. Look at that. That was pretty good car control right there.
So that's from about 190 to nothing in a hurry.
They don't give out trophies for car control.
No. But you sure feel a lot better.
Okay, fellas, you can make it the rest of the way from here. Who's going to pit? Well, Strimmy had to.
Dave Burns.
No changes for the 14 car. He likes the way it is. He said, I'd like something to drink too. We'll see if they get to that on David Strimmy. Had to bring the car in, though. He was one of those guys that could not have made it to the end, even if we'd had a ton of cautions, guys.
Matt.
Championship point leader Martin Truex pulling into his pit stall. 2-tire change expected, and also track bar adjustment. Going to raise it slightly to try to free the car up. It's just so tight. Down in 3 and 4. He's away. His teammate Paul Menard, 2 tires as well.
So these guys come off of pit road. Harvick, Newman, Stewart did not stop. We'll sort out the running order when we come back. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series from the Lowe's Motor Speedway on TNT. Still under caution here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, J.J. Yaley, and Matt Kenseth, the top 5. Check on pit road with Alan Bestwood.
Well, Kevin Harvick's crew chief is Ricky Byers. Ricky, sounds like you got a little drama here on your radio. What's going on?
Yeah, a little bit. Kevin's complaining about the throttle sticking, and we're not sure why. We've tried everything we can inside the cockpit to get it knocked loose, but right now it's still hanging up about half throttle.
How can you stay out there and race like that?
Well, he's got his hands and feet going all at one time, using the kill switch and holding the brake down, just kind of, riding the brake a little bit. But right now he's holding his own, and 39's really strong. I don't think we can hold him off very long. But our concern right now is he stayed out. The tires, we've got a lot of laps on our tires right now, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Thanks, Ricky. Kevin, Ricky talked to Kevin before they opened pit road, and he said, come on in for 4 tires. Kevin stayed out, and he said, might as well. What do we got to lose at this point?
Hey, Kevin, it looked to me, Alan, it looked to me like that the 39 car, Ryan Newman, when he got the second spot, started riding. He just is going to wait and try to keep his stuff together until just a few laps to go, because he does have a very fast race car.
Yeah, BP, I haven't heard any Ryan talk about riding at all on his radio, but he pretty much understands he's got a strong horse underneath him, and he also understands what's been going on throughout the race and, you know, how many laps there are to go. Wouldn't be a bad strategy, would it?
No, I kind of compliment that strategy.
First 13 drivers did not pit. Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. runs 14th. Right back here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series racing from the Lowe's Motor Speedway, presented by the Principal Financial Group. We're with you at 7 Eastern time over on NBC. And if this is an indication of what's coming, it's going to be a wild night. Matt?
The A-team lost a lot of track position. They were 5th. They fell back to the 14th spot. Now, when the team looked at the right rear that came off again, it was blistered for Truex, but they feel like now they're good to go to the end. In fact, Bono even told Martin, if I lose radio contact with you, we are done pitting for the night.
Because we're out of tires, right?
Pretty much.
Yep.
If the caution comes out, don't come in here.
And I'm afraid to put it in second gear.
It's Harvick, the race leader, has the hanging throttle. Brings the field to the green.
Here comes Robbie Gordon on the bottom, trying to get a lap back.
And charging up on the inside. Got 53 laps of caution tonight. The record, 54.
At least he didn't break that record
yet.
Ryan Newman close up front on the back bumper of Harvick.
Black flag, 55. Robbie Gordon was supposed to restart at the tail end of the longest line and did not. So Robbie had a good night, got bad, now it's worse. Sorry about that.
I was just going to say, I knew he was going to get in trouble for something. Because usually when you come up like that fast, when the field is slow, he backed off before he passed the leader, but now I know that from experience.
Tell you what, this is a great battle we've got going for the lead. Tony Stewart, that blue car, the 19, has joined this battle between Harvick and Newman.
And a car on the move is the 9 of Matt Kenseth.
Newman's going to take a look here. He's got a good run off of turn 2, but what happens down here if it goes to the low side? No. Yeah.
Harvick up high, Newman low. Off of 4.
See ya.
Caution, Jeremy Mayfield. And that will tie the track record. 12th caution of the night.
So I wonder who was in front, Newman or the 21 car?
8 scoring loops around this track. It's the one you just passed that is the most critical when the caution comes out. That's where you are scored.
But we don't know what they're at.
It's a big secret. They're based at intervals around the track. There actually is a diagram. I'll be happy to show you after the race.
There is, really?
Yes, yes.
I'll be happy to look at it.
Okay.
Let me see what might have happened there. We see Jeremy Mayfield in the 79 car.
Well, we've seen it all night long. You get next to somebody going through the corner and you just get loose. You're down on the bottom.
You just cannot keep the car from turning around.
A lot of Cup drivers watching are going to figure out how they can pass on the high side tomorrow night.
Brent Sherman in that pink 10 car has been around a lot of stuff tonight. And he has gotten through all of it so far.
You know, that pink car, that Serta is the sponsor on that car, and they're selling a set of pink mattresses, the money going to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Fund.
Ryan Newman is the race leader. So Newman had the pass completed before the caution came out when they passed the scoring loop. That help you, Wally?
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're here for you. Under caution at Charlotte. Marty,
Jeremy Mayfield back in the Busch Series garage, and what happened on your wreck?
I just got underneath the 43 and lost it. You know, we were working hard on our auto value bumper to bumper car all night, you know, our Dodge, and just couldn't get it right. And I shortened the bumper up on it. I know that. Just hate it for all the guys. They worked hard and had a good car. And, yeah, I just lost it right there, you know. My fault.
And is this the sign of what we're going to see tomorrow night? This is not a good sign if this is what we're going to see tomorrow night, is it?
No, it ain't really. And I hate it, you know. It's going to be a long night. I tell you that. What time is it now? About 1 or 2 o'clock?
I have no idea. I think we crossed over into Saturday already.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. It's going to be late night tomorrow night for sure. But I hate it for these guys.
You know, in the garage, though, a lot of guys were concerned this was going to happen.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, since the test.
Yeah. Well, since May. Then they came back and worked on the track some more.
In practice for the NASCAR Nextel Cup cars, Tony Stewart wrecked 2 cars.
In testing.
In testing. Greg Biffle wrecked 2. I don't remember exactly who else, but I know those 2 guys wrecked 2 each.
Biffle had a hard crash. Field has gotten the 1 to go.
And we still got 26 laps to go. We got time for 3 or 4 more caution flags.
Ever the optimist.
Well, for this close to the record.
I'm going to break it in.
Why not?
That's a record that we don't want to break.
No. And you believe this isn't an indication of what we could see tomorrow night?
It has to be. I mean, we're going to have 43 cars running around the racetrack just like we had tonight.
Faster.
Faster.
Heavier cars. So the forces through the corners are going to be harder on the tires.
And these cars have a higher rear spoiler than the NASCAR Nextel Cup cars, so they ought to be better balanced. But
the cars tonight better balanced.
Should be. Should have more downforce in the back.
Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, J.J. Yaley, Elliott Sadler. Then it's Kenseth, Sterling Marlin, Jason Leffler, John Wood, and Ashton Lewis Jr. Coming around to complete 175. Good luck, guys.
That was a late restart.
And Harvick is going to try to get back in front. But I think Newman is in his preferred spot.
Shoot off a turn 2.
Down the backstretch.
Oh, Harvick's right there, though.
He is. That 21 car's hanging tough.
Down on the bottom. That's not where you want to be going side by side. In fact, look at him slide up the racetrack. He's going to lose his spot to Stewart and others. That's a problem. You go down there in a turn 3 down on the bottom, racing somebody, and you slide up the racetrack. You got to get out of the gas, and on a restart, you're going to lose some spots.
J.J. Yeley goes by in the 18 car, takes over the 3rd position. Harvick finally got back to the top of the racetrack.
Now Kenseth and Elliott Sadler want by. They've lost some ground while running side by side. Now Ashton Lewis Jr. runs in the 10th spot in that 25 car. Crashed here in qualifying. Got out the backup car. Has no laps on it when the race starts. And through pit strategy, missing the wrecks and driving a good race, he's got himself a 10th place car right now.
Boy, Ashton.
Driving for the Marines.
Paul Menard on the high side.
Goes by Ashton Lewis.
And John Wood. Menard's car's looks awfully good tonight.
Here comes Truex in that 8 car. Our NASCAR Busch Series points leader.
Trying to get around Ashton Lewis. Down low. Be careful down there.
Yeah, not the preferred line. Tonight, anyway. Then you got Carl Edwards there. He's going to help back push the 25 car through.
You struggle when you get down there, don't you, on that inside lane?
That 72 car, the white car, Kevin LePage in the lead lap in front of David Stremme, 14.
There is Stremme.
14th spot.
Stremme led 22 laps. Used pit strategy to get up front.
And he ran there a long time. He came in and he put 4 tires on, and it's kind of, you know, he's a little bit better than these guys, but track position makes a big difference.
When you get back in traffic, it's hard to go anywhere.
And there's something I wanted to see. Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart. Look like they've had the 2 best cars all night. Finally, they get to run in 1-2. Can Tony Stewart run him down?
Stewart looks like he's a little bit quicker right there, Dave.
And during the last green flag run, what was that, like 3 laps? Tony Stewart said, hey, I got the whip out. I can't beat him down the straightaway. He said, I'm getting him really good in the corner, but boy, down the straightaway, it's really tough to catch that 39.
Again, Newman has won the last 4 Busch races he has been in.
Again, Stewart faster that lap than the leader, Ryan Newman.
You can see the difference on the track. On the watch, it's about 0.4 of a second. Dave?
Hey, if he's faster in the corners than he is in the straightaways with the 39, isn't there more corner than the straightaway here?
Just a little bit.
You know, I'm just thinking.
Catching them and passing them are 2 things, Dave.
And Matt Kenseth has some kind of problem, so he's taking it to pit road.
Here, 4 tires.
Alan?
Said left rear or something on the radio, and that has brought Matt to pit road. They're going to change 4. He's asking if the left front is flat, and said if the left front's not flat, then something's broken. You just heard that. So tough luck there for Matt.
He'll be back tomorrow night. One of the contenders in the chase for the next Cup.
There, guys.
Yeah, they're pointing at something there, AB, in the left front.
Rolling behind pit wall there.
Obviously something is broke. They're going to push him behind the wall.
Ryan Newman has led 117 of the 184 laps, and for that we're going to give him our ExxonMobil Command Performance of the Race Award to Ryan Newman, the race leader.
I concur with that, Mr. Weber.
The question is, can he lead the next 15? With
That's
Tony
a
Stewart
good question.
Stewart's been a little bit, I mean a little.
Oh! Kevin Harvick in the wall. And that breaks the track record. AB?
Yeah, Bill, he had called in just a couple laps ago, said he'd used up his front tires and had a bad vibration. I guess it didn't get any better, huh?
No, sir.
Well,
now AB, Alan, they had the set left. Did they have a set of tires left, or were they on their last set?
Let me go back and check my notes here, Wally. I was running after Matt Kenseth. I wanted to check because they had a set left at one time, but I believe they pitted and put those on, right?
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure if they did or not.
Yeah, I'll check here in just a second. We're going to catch up to Kenseth here.
He clobbered it.
He did. He's going to try and drive it back. It's going to potentially make a mess out there. It's already going to be underway when we get there. Wow.
Same picture we've seen several times tonight. Right front tire going flat, going down the corner.
13th caution of the night. 57 of the 186 laps have been run under yellow.
And that is our 13th caution flag?
Yes, sir.
A new track record.
Not one to be proud of.
I think he's on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I'll get out here. So Harvick heads back. He had his hands full tonight. Throttle hanging, vibration. Mandatory ride to the infield care center.
Boys, thing's on fire.
Got it.
Alan, you completed your mission.
I've hustled back here into the garage, Bill. Matt just picked up a flashlight, And has stuck his head up under the hood, looking under the left front of the car, trying to figure out what it is that might have broken. Good to see you still got a sense of humor. Did you figure out what it is under there?
I don't know. I want to make sure we take it apart in case it's some type of parts problem. There's so much load on the car here. You're going so fast now, and you're seeing a lot of stuff breaking, tires going, stuff like that. So I'm just making sure we don't have a problem that we need to address for tomorrow. But something happened to the left front wheel bearing, knocked out of it or something. The left front tire just moved like it was falling off, and the brake pedal went down. So something happened to the suspension on the left front. So it was an uphill battle all night. We had a good car. Too bad we didn't get it finished.
Matt, considering what you've seen tonight and how you raced out there, what are your concerns for tomorrow night?
You know, the track's not really a concern, but we're just going so fast, it's hard on all the parts. I don't think we've seen stresses on parts like this probably ever. You know, you're just really running through the corners fast. So, I mean, if the tires don't hold up and you're breaking parts and stuff and wheels and stuff like that like we broke tonight, that's the biggest concern. The track is fine as long as nothing comes apart, but if something comes apart, you're going awfully fast.
All right, thanks for the time, Matt.
You know, that's like at Bristol. You know, it's just a half-mile racetrack, but you break things at Bristol that you just simply don't break anyplace else on the circuit because of the load factor that's applied to the cars. And as Matt said, that's the thing that's going to happen here tomorrow night.
And what did you say earlier? It's like they added, well, since they did this, they added, what, 4 or 5 miles per hour? Well, that, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you're going this fast.
And, Wally, as we watch tonight, I've watched this score and monitor. The speed doesn't drop off.
Yeah.
They maintain that unbelievable speed lap after lap after lap.
Because normally tires give up.
Yeah, and the car starts slowing down a little bit. But we aren't seeing that tonight.
They're saying that in the Busch car, I mean, you're basically flat out, you know, through 1 and 2, and just lifting in 3 just to get the car pointed down into the corner. Then you're back to the gas. So that's a lot of stress on your race car.
Asking your car to do a lot. Matt Kenseth, by the way, starts 18th tomorrow night in the 500-miler here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, under our 13th caution of the night at Charlotte.
The throttle sticking and all that, did the right front just go unannounced?
Yeah, it you know, it just blew right as I got to the end of the straightaway. I felt it vibrating and knew that something was getting ready to happen. But I thought it was the brake rotors, you know, because the throttle hung and I was driving the thing with the kill switch there. And then all of a sudden, one lap when Ryan passed me, all of a sudden it was like I shut the motor off and the throttle started working again, and then the tire blew. So just hate it for this Reese Chevrolet. All these guys worked real hard, and I think just got a little too greedy there, but oh well.
Based on all this tonight, what do you expect tomorrow night? I mean, are these conditions acceptable for racing?
See that room right there?
The Infield Care Center?
Infield Care Center. I told them to make sure they had a lot of stretchers ready.
Oh, that's not good news. Kevin Harvick out of it this evening. He might have had a shot to beat Ryan Newman, though.
That's a very strong statement coming from Kevin Harvick.
And we saw the damage to his car. When that right front tire goes flat, you're going to hit that wall awfully hard. We've seen these guys get out of the race cars tonight, and they looked like that they were a little bit dazed.
Pretty slow getting out, a lot of them.
And David Green actually was transported to another hospital.
And we have no further update on David. Coming around to complete 191 of 200. See if we can get to the finish.
Tony Stewart, this is it. This is his chance. All right, can Ryan beat him off this corner? He's trying.
Or he's got to have enough lead going into 3 to try to hold side by side off of 4.
We'll watch it. Dave, what do you got?
Oh, Tony goes around.
Oh, that's what we talked about, being on the low side.
More
not where you want to be.
Oh, Stremme. 14th caution of the night. That ties the high for the season.
It's pretty ridiculous. And you're seeing, I mean, you know, these are veteran drivers that are having a hard time getting a hold of this racetrack.
I mean, one of the best, Tony Stewart, one of the best race car drivers that we have in stock car racing.
Just can't. We've seen on the restart every time. The guy goes to the low side and he can't stick down there.
And thank goodness I see Tony moving around in that car, because it looked to me like he hit that wall a ton with the left side.
Looked like he had the window net down before the safety crew got there. The indication that the driver's okay. This is Tony's last Busch race of the season. Talked to him about that on Thursday here. From upstairs.
See, he's trying to make the pass, and he's got enough race car in front of him, but the car just gets loose down on the bottom. We've seen it all night. Like I said, it's just then you're just along for the ride. Bad thing about it is Tony did this in front of the whole field. So all these guys are trying to scramble. Stremme thought he had some room down on the bottom side to get through, but he didn't.
J.J. Yaley was looking at a top 5. Stremme has led 22 laps tonight.
And Tony gets out of the car.
Takes the heat shields off his shoes. Waves to the crowd.
Well, this place has eaten up a lot of race cars tonight.
Right now, there are only 19 cars on the lead lap.
And you just can't get enough grip with those cars on the outside at the speed you're going into these turns.
Watch this.
Yeah, he takes it. Boy, gets clobbered there by Stremme. Just you lose the tail when you run side by side. When you're going that fast, side by side through the corner, the guy at the bottom is just the loser.
And we've already heard drivers say that tonight, that you cannot race out there side by side.
You know what? The 18 car hitting Tony might have softened that blow. He was going to hit the outside wall a little bit.
Ride with Tony Stewart.
Yeah, listen to this one.
That, and your respect for these guys just continues to grow. Allen.
And David Stremme drove his car most of the way back in, then got pushed the rest. He's climbed out now. You okay?
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I feel bad for all my guys. We didn't start out very good, and we ended up worked our way back up there. Got on a different pit strategy. I definitely think we had a top 10 car, and we end up. Spotter told me to go low, and which we should have. I committed low, and them guys are coming down. There's nowhere to go. I mean, you're running so fast here. Whenever you commit, you have to stay, or you'll wreck yourself. But just feel bad for all my guys. Thoughts and prayers go out to Armando Mimi. Armando lost his father this week, so. We'll go wherever we're going next week and have some fun.
All right, David, thanks.
That'd be Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee,
yes. Red flag, second of the night. They've stopped the field on the front stretch here. One crew member from each team.
Power, and you all right, man? That was a hard hit on the wrong side of the race car.
Yeah, that stung a little bit, but no, you know, everybody that's been on the bottom has been in that situation. I don't know how close he was to me, but you know, I didn't expect him to give it to me by any means, and you know, I had nothing to lose. I went for the win, so you know, we just, you know, hold on here. I get to look at the replay for.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, it just shows how much the air is disrupting it. You know, I've been able to go anywhere I wanted all night, so yeah. Brian had the best car. We were a second place car, but you know, we had a great sponsor with DLP and Texas Instruments tonight, and thought maybe we could get them their first win and their first night out. So at least tried. I mean, I wasn't going to be one of those guys to ride around and go for second. So we did the best we could tonight.
So based on what we've seen tonight, what are your concerns about tomorrow night, Tony?
Don't let anybody underneath you. No, it'll probably be different tomorrow night with the Cup cars because of spoilers. But you know, the good thing is we're able to run two grooves tonight, and you know, we got to thank Humpy as much as we all have really been hard on Humpy Wheeler in the last couple of weeks. You know, he was proactive and drug the tires around here, and you know, the wrecks in Busch qualifying today weren't due to the track conditions. It was just the track was free. So at least we got a track that's got some grip to it now. We can run too wide, and you know, we should put on a good race tomorrow night.
Humpy Wheeler, who he's referring to, is the president of the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Tony, best news is that
96 laps. And again, Ryan is chasing his 5th consecutive Busch Series win.
Does that set a record?
It ties the record.
Ties the record. 4 consecutive wins in races entered.
For him.
Put our crack statistician
best man on it to figured out.
Good luck. All right, here we go.
Handed me a note. I have no idea.
All right, here we go.
3 to go when they get the green. Ryan Newman, Elliott Sadler, Paul Menard, Sterling Moreland, Jason Leffler. Newman has been the class of the field. Another slow restart.
Yeah, brought him down just like he's been doing it all night long. Sadler's got enough here. It doesn't look like he took the opportunity Stewart did on the restart. Carl Edwards back there, though, trying to make some moves.
Carl Edwards trying to get by the 40 car, Sterling Marlin. Actually, I guess he's got to get by Jason Leffler from 32 first. Oh, we've seen trouble down there before. Carl makes the pass.
2 to go. Sadler looking at Newman.
I think that's all he's going to be doing for the next couple laps.
Ryan's trying to pull away.
Boy, they almost wrecked there.
Ashton Lewis, John Wood in 47. Oh, we've seen trouble there before, haven't we?
Yeah, I was going to say, it still may happen. These guys have been bouncing off each other for the last lap.
It's a championship leader, Martin Truex Jr. right behind him, and Jamie McMurray. White flag, last lap at Charlotte. A lot of work to get to this point. Sadler trying to rope in Newman. Ryan going for his 5th consecutive win in the Busch Series. A lot of guys.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch this last corner.
Ryan Newman out of turn 4. Newman brings the field to the checkered flag.
And they're reckoning 4.
5 in a row for Newman. A crash coming up for 4.
Jamie McMurray
goes across the finish line sideways. Well, that's appropriate.
Yeah. He was on a low side coming off the 4, and guess what happened? He got loose.
Truex Jr. got a piece of it. And that's going to drop him back to 16th unofficially.
I don't think that's right.
You don't think that's right?
No, I don't think that's right.
You see, McMurray was on the low side. I guess that was LePage. I don't know where Truex got that damage because he wasn't involved in that.
I don't either.
Here's Truex there. You see him in the middle of the...
No.
Got through that clear.
On board with Casey Kane. And we're going to follow this down the corner. Oh, wow.
That was, is that Ashton Lewis? All these guys just checked up for the caution. I don't think Truex heard that the yellow was out because he was going. Wow.
The winner of tonight's NASCAR Busch Series race, Ryan Newman, is awarded the Reese's Big Cup. And to answer your question, BP ties Dale Earnhardt Jr. for winning 5 straight starts.
5 straight starts.
Again, Ryan does not run all the races in the Busch Series, but he has now won the last 5 he has started.
The first of the 5 was Watkins Glen back, what's that, the first week in August.
Dave Burns.
With Elliott Sadler with a last 2 laps charge there, but just not going to get the 39 car because you didn't get him on the track, did you?
Yeah, I was just a little bit too tight behind Ryan, but for running over a tire and running over some debris early, I'm very happy with a second place finish. I couldn't even make a lap on the track when we first started yesterday. And to come back finish second, I am proud of my guys. The City Financial Ford did a great job tonight. So all in all, it was a great night for us here at Charlotte.
Good run for Elliott. Alan?
Martin Truex Jr. just explaining to his crew chief, Kevin Mannion, where the damage came from on the last lap. Martin, how do you describe this night?
It's a wild one. My car wasn't very good all night, and it was kind of frustrating, but, you know, 14th, I guess that's where we started. That's where we finished. I'm glad to get out of Charlotte. This place has never been good to me. We ain't never run well. We didn't run good tonight, so good to get out of here.
All right, thanks. Dave?
And with Paul Menard right now, good third place run for you, and looked like you're pretty racy all night.
Yeah, the car is awesome. It's not the car that we wanted to bring here. That it got wrecked at Kansas last week, but this is a pretty good backup car. Real proud of Dan Stillman, everybody on the Menards team, Quaker State team. We weren't sure how those guys lasted the last 80 laps on fuel, but they did what they had to do, and they won it, and we were pretty good, but, you know, just came up a little bit short. So
good run for Paul. Matt?
What a wild finish in Jimmy McMurray. They're still trying to figure out where you finished.
Yeah, I think we ended up like 15th. We'd been tied on that long, and I wrecked the car about 4 or 5 times. I know Rusty's going to call me as soon as I get to my motorhome and ask me why I'm tearing the stuff up. But we just, the 9 car got up underneath me like on the 10th lap, and I couldn't help it. I brushed the wall and tore the right side up, and we got it fixed, and it got pretty good again. And I hit the wall again and tore it up. And then we'd been tight, and they kept freeing me up. And, you know, the 72 or someone got on the outside of me over there. And last lap, what are you going to do? You just stay on the gas.
I think he should go by his coach now, catch up on with him now.
He got roasted tonight at Penske Racing, so I'm curious to see how that went. And, that's a cool night. Good night. See you.
Cool night. Let's go to Victory Lane with Marty Snyder.
Hard to believe that here in May, this was the 39 team's first race of the 2005 season, and here in October, they're celebrating their 5th straight win. Ryan Newman in Victory Lane. That was a nice dismount there, Ryan. Boy, all the issues you had tonight. You had the radio problems, you had the right front damage from the contact, and you had some tire problems. Which one gave you the most problems?
Oh, just, you know, time, basically, just kind of waiting everything out. And first of all, I got to apologize. I guess it was TJ Bell. I obviously didn't mean, got loose and got up into him and spun him around. But got to thank Alex Zanardi for teaching me how to do donuts, man. That's a lot of fun. And I was actually dizzy at the end, but everybody at Alltel Penske Racing, Dodge, just everybody's doing a great job, and this is a lot of fun, and these guys deserve it. They've been doing a good job.
After what all happened tonight, what you saw happening around you, do you have concerns about tomorrow night's race, Ryan?
Oh, always concerns. I mean, had 22 cautions in the first race, first Cup racer this year, so there's concerns, but I think the track's in good shape. It's a blast to drive. I absolutely love driving, and it's just like the old Charlotte. It's just got more grip.
When will we get to see you go for number 6?
Texas. I hope Texas.
All right, this next race, Texas, will go for 6 Busch Series wins in a row. Bill?
Thanks, Marty. Congratulations to Ryan Newman, the winner tonight here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Here are the unofficial results.
John Wood comes back to finish in the 6th position. Great run for him.
Yeah, they never went back to the garage. They actually did their work on pit road, kept them in the race, got a 6th place finish. And Ashton Lewis Jr. in a backup car.
And Truex Jr. thought he was 14th. He actually was 9th.
Brent Sherman came out with a good run tonight. 13th spot. Aaron Fike in the 43 car. Those guys needed that. Stedman Marlin, 19th. Just avoided the carnage and good finish.
And that is correct. 19 cars on the lead lap, and then Stacy Compton 6 laps down, and the rest of it, this tells pretty much the story. A night that had 14 caution periods for 67 laps.
Clint Boyer in the 33rd spot. That did not help his championship run.
And Jimmy Johnson brought out the first caution.
Those are some very tight donuts.
I'll tell you what, those are the donuts that he was talking about. Those are beautiful.
Unofficial championship standings with 4 to go. Truex came in up by 49, now leads by 128. Tomorrow on NBC, the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup continues. It's NASCAR Nextel Cup racing from the Lowe's Motor Speedway, presented by the Principal Financial Group. Jimmy Johnson looking for the sweep, going for his 4th straight win at this track. Our coverage on NBC begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with the Bank of America countdown to green. Next on TNT on the East Coast, the Shawshank Redemption. And out west, it's Law and Order. 5 in a row for Ryan Newman in the Busch Series. We'll see you tomorrow night on NBC for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. congratulations and a big win for Ryan Newman and the Donuts celebration. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC.